Direct attention to the center field where you have a student gift exchange for Lamar and Prairie. I apologize, I do not have the name of the super members for Prairie. I'll just do all kinds of center field. A lot of the super officers are their official president.
to tonight's Lamar Viking pre-game show. The Yaller horn has been blown, and we are ready for a great game tonight between the Grand Prairie Gophers and your Lamar Vikings. I am Richie Sherrod. Normally I would be joined by the great Javier Najera, but he's been called to an important meeting this evening. We do hope to meet with him at halftime, perhaps the third quarter of this evening's game.
You know, already this year we've talked about homecoming. I think that's a good one, Bill. Thank you. We've already talked about homecoming and senior night. Tonight's another special night here at Cravens Field. Tonight, the Viking cheerleaders, the Vi-Queens, and the Pride of Lamar band are going to share the field, or are sharing the field, with some of their young fans. It's always neat to see high school students that understand the importance of passing on their knowledge, their wisdom, and their skills to the next generation of cheerleader, member of the dance team, or band. The Pride of Lamar band hosts band members from Shackelford and from Nichols Junior High, so that those kids get the opportunity to come on out and experience playing in front of a huge crowd on a Friday night. And what that does is it builds up some excitement for those young people, so that when they do think about, am I gonna be in drill team? Am I gonna be in band? Am I gonna be a cheerleader? They already have an idea of just how exciting it is to be a part of something like the Lamar Vikings. So while Friday night's always going to get the bulk of fans, we also see a lot of that happening with the football field as well. Bill and I, among others, oftentimes will spend some time up here on either Wednesday nights or Thursday nights with the freshman team, with the JV team. And it's the same thing on those things as well, where they get an opportunity to play, to get better, practice, so that they can join that Friday night team as well. So, before we look at tonight's matchup, let's talk a little bit about last week's game against Sam Houston. The offense really got on track. Had a sighting of Isaiah Robinson, which was really good to see. Of course, he got hurt in the game against Waxahachie. He was able to come back, I guess you could say, sparingly last week. I think they were watching the amount of time that he spent on the field to make sure that he didn't get re-injured and got acclimated to playing before he starts full-time. I anticipate we may see a little more of him tonight. He was able to get onto the field. Fantastic player. We also saw some fantastic play out of Robert Brown. Robert Brown is the running back for the Vikings. He was fantastic last week. I'd have to look exactly what his statistics were. I bet you Bill can help us out with that once we start the other part of the pregame show a little bit later. He was really, really good, played a fantastic game last week. Of course, Gannon Carey, the sophomore quarterback, was fantastic, and he was able to find one of his, I think, most athletic receivers in Derek Bledsoe. Bledsoe played a fantastic game last week as well. They were able to not only hit him a number of times, but get him into space where he could make some plays with his legs. He did a fantastic job of doing that. The other side of the ball, defensively, they were exceptionally good. When you only give up a few points to any team, that's in a high school football game, that's fantastic. They were sharp. They were able to seal the edge and keep the running game to a minimum for Sam Houston last week. And then, of course, special teams. One of the things I notated here was the fact that Isabella Mickelson, the kicker, we have the Lamar Vikings have a female kicker, and she was able to get onto the field quite a bit last week and made the most of her opportunities, kicked a couple point afters, and she was also responsible for several of the kickoffs last week. She did a phenomenal job in getting out there and doing her very best as well. Overall, a fantastic game. It was a much needed win. If they hope to be able to play and get into the playoff hunt any at all, that was a victory that they needed to have. So let's hope for some more positivity tonight from the Vikings again as they face the Blue Gophers from Grand Prairie. Let's take a look at some District 8 6A action this week. Just a reminder that there's always only going to be 3 games with the number of teams, and every team is going to have a bye week. So the 3 games tonight, Sam Houston played Lamar last week. Things don't get any easier for them this week. Tonight, the Texans travel to Maverick Stadium to face the Martin Warriors. Sam is 0-7 overall. They are 0-5 in district. Martin is 2-0 in district, and they are 5-1 overall. Really tall task for the Texans, but I think a lot of us would say go Texans tonight. Do your very best. We hope for good things for them. As far as next week is concerned, Sam Houston is going to face off against bye week, and I believe they will be favored in that one. Martin will host the Grand Prairie Gophers. The Arlington Colts, they head to the Gopher Warrior Bowl. I am old enough to remember when it was just called the Gopher Bowl. The Gopher Warrior Bowl, they're going to play the South Grand Prairie Warriors. The Colts come into the game with a 4-2 record. They are actually, I believe, second in district play coming into tonight. They are 4-2. They've won 3 straight games, including being 2-0 in district play. South Grand Prairie has a 2-5 record, but and they're also coming in on a bit of a hot streak. They have 2 straight district wins. So those 2 teams, that's going to go a long way towards deciding who is going to be near the top. As a matter of fact, you can one of those teams should be in the driver's seat to having a playoff spot wrapped up after this week. And so both of those 2 teams are going to be fighting really hard to win that game. Next week, Arlington will host Lamar. That game is going to be at Choctaw. South Grand Prairie is going to travel to Wildman Field, where they will face the Bowie Volunteers. Bowie is on their bye week this week. Let's take a look at some of the top teams in the state. Number 1 in the state, Geyer. That's Denton Geyer. They are out of Denton. Duncanville is number 2. I do happen to know that Duncanville is hosting the Mansfield Tigers tonight. Mansfield is also undefeated. North Shore, that's a team out of Houston. They come in at number 3. They are 6-0. The Allen Eagles, number 4 in the state. They are 5-1. Their only loss is an out-of-state matchup. Katy, number 5, they are 7-0. Westlake, out of Austin, they are 6-0. They come in at number 6 this week. The DeSoto Eagles are 5-1, number 7. Number 8, Longview, they are 6-0. Atascocita, out of Humble, Texas, are 5-1. And then, of course, District 8, 6A, Martin Warriors come in this week at number 10. They are 5-1. That lone loss coming at the hands of that was at the Allen Eagles, I believe. Other top teams from the area: South Lake Carroll, they come in at number 14. The Prosper Eagles, they're number 16. If Pop Bob and Grand Ann are listening tonight, Stephenville is ranked number 22. Love you guys. And Highland Park comes in at number 24. Right now, as I look out onto the field, we do have the Lamar, the Vikings are lined up. They have their the high schoolers are called the Bigs, and their helpers tonight are called the Littles. The Bigs and the Littles are lined up on either side, right along the sideline. Of course, making a lineup, a tunnel for the team to run through. The cheerleaders and their helpers are down there getting ready to put up the banner that the team will run through as well. Looks like we have the, is that the wind ensemble? Is that what you call them?
Let's see. I think, no, it's
Is it,
That's more of a brass ensemble,
Brass
I believe.
ensemble?
Yeah, trumpets
I don't
and
know anything about
sousaphones.
band, Bill. And my kid is in band. I know what a saxophone looks like.
It's going to be like the oboes and maybe
Okay.
the flutes and those types of things.
Okay, so we have a brass ensemble that looks like they're going to be doing the Star Spangled Banner for us tonight. We do have the Lamar Viking captains that are already in play, and we have the Zebras that have just shown up. I'm sure they've been here for a little while, but they're getting ready to take the field as well. And so it's a pretty good crowd here at Cravens Field on the Lamar side. It's a bit sparse on the Grand Prairie Gophers side. Their band is set up as well. Do you see? Looks like the captains for the Grand Prairie Gophers. They're getting ready to come onto the field as well. Bill, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Glad to be back home. I've been in Florida for 8 days. So
I got a trivia question for you. You ready?
please.
How many times have the Grand Prairie Gophers won at Cravens Field?
I'm going to guess approximately 0.
You are approximately right. So the two teams, they played a lot during the 70s, and then the last few years they've become district rivals. But Grand Prairie's never come into Cravens Field and won. We hope that streak continues after tonight's game.
You know, it's interesting how district alignments change over years. Even now where the Metroplex is, the core cities are kind of built out. The other just kind of shift according to schools moving up out of 6A, 5A. And, years ago in the 70s, it had to have been, I wasn't here, I was out in Odessa, but the Grand Prairie school, at that point, Grand Prairie must have been in the same district as the Arlington, 3 or 4 high schools at that point.
Right.
Then things changed. They're in different districts, and now here for the last couple of years or so, we've been in the same districts.
For a long time, I know we played the teams down in Mansfield. And
Yes.
you played kind of teams more down to the south. There's been a few years where
It's been out to Weatherford.
It has been, yeah. It is constantly changing, and I guess that's a good thing. You create some rivalries that you are always going to have here, but then you get to play some different teams throughout the Metroplex area.
Yeah, definitely. And we've had Pascal in our district at times, and of course that was just as school again realignments happen or teams move into or out of 6A, 5A. Fort Worth predominantly has 5A high schools, maybe even some 4A. Pascal's a 6A, or at least it has been in the past. So that's when we had to leapfrog over, and Weatherford was in our district. All right, the coin toss has happened out on the midfield.
Grand Prairie is going to receive. I'm going to guess that Lamar won and deferred.
That's what I think is a safe guess, Richie. Some of our captains tonight out there. Number 70, it looks like, is Jacob Zacharias. Number 1, Linnell Cunningham. I think I saw
Derek Bledsoe was out
Bledsoe,
there, and I saw Christopher Johnson, number 8, as well.
and Chris Johnson. I'll tell you what, we've been calling his name a lot.
Yeah.
He had 2 picks in one game recently.
This defense has really stepped up, and you just can't win without having a strong defense. And Lamar has a strong defense.
I talked about that a little bit with Coach Skinner on the Coaches Show this week, which we do either Sundays or Mondays, and it gets posted by Sunday night or Monday. So be sure and tune in to that. It's out there all week. We have all the shows from the whole season archived. You can go back and listen to previous ones. But Coach Skinner always just really glad to answer any questions. But he was talking about the importance of defense, and
Yes.
I was saying, back at Permian High School, they had a sign in the locker room that said, if you score, you might win. If they never score, you will never lose.
That's true.
Defense wins championships.
Yes,
So,
that's right.
but good point there about defenses.
Well, Grand Prairie comes in with a really bad record.
Hey, don't pull any punches.
Sorry.
No, it's
0-7.
that's the way it is.
0-7 is tough, and these kids they have pride, and they're gonna put out their very best effort. But one of the challenging things I think for Coach Skinner is going to be you've got to make sure that your team doesn't read that. You can't have a team that comes in here and says, "Hey, they're 0-7. It's just automatic."
No, that's true. And what you've got to do is focus in, because they are somewhat of a pass-centric team. Their quarterback, number 12, Joshua Rico, He's below 50% on completion rate for the season, but he has 171 yards per game. So when he is connecting, they're making a lot of yardage on it, but unfortunately they're not able to finish the drives or whatever's been happening because they've not been able to win a game yet this year. Now the Vikings are coming out onto the field behind the cheerleaders and Thor Core.
You know, Thor used to always just be student-led, and I believe now they are sponsored. And so we see a whole lot more of them, and they're able to go to some of the away games and things like that. So it's good to have Thor, and it's good to have Thor being sponsored. We get to see more Thor.
Now, a few more names that you're going to be hearing tonight. Let's go to the Grand Prairie Gophers first.
Sure.
On defense, number 2, Miles Johnson. He's averaging about 10 to 11 tackles per game. He leads the team on tackles per game from what I can tell. Richie, something I've noticed in the last few years, going back to when I was a kid, back in the dark ages, horse and buggy days, all that, there were very few players that had single-digit numbers on their jerseys, and you never saw a number 0. And actually, we're about to hear that brass ensemble do the national anthem, so we'll turn down our mics and turn up the ambient. We'll be back. So the national anthem has just been played by the brass ensemble of the Lamar Viking band, the pride of the Vikings.
Bill, you were talking about single-digit numbers.
Yeah, and I've got to wonder if some of the kind of recent interest in having a single-digit number is my name now appears toward the top of the roster.
Unless it's alphabetical. But yeah. Who would ever do that?
No, what high school would ever send over sub-varsity rosters?
Oh, good gravy.
Not by numerical order, gracious. But by alphabetical order. We won't say which one of the.
Will not. Yeah, we will not.
But anyway, and so it's interesting because you rarely saw, maybe a quarterback had a single-digit number.
Right.
But it was always, 70s tackles, 60s guards, 50s centers, 40s, 30s receivers, quarterbacks in the teens, maybe the 20s, ends and receivers always in the 80s, maybe 90s. But
kickers and occasional quarterbacks.
Yes.
That was really it, back in the day.
But here, looking at the people that we're going to most likely be calling out, number 2, Miles Johnson on defense for the Gophers. Number 6, Samuel Rangel. He may, if Max Preps is correct, he may be in the 20-something range, and a few others. The Vikings are kicking off. The ball's up. It's a short kick. It's going to be fielded at the 17-yard line off of a bounce, and he's not going to get past the first Viking back there, and he's maybe going to get 1 yard officially on the return to the 18.
Looks like, is that 26 and 27 that came in there and got the tackle? 27 with the tackle.
Looks like 27 led, and of course that's Jesse Hulbert.
Bill, we've talked about this on and on and on, but so many of these teams let the ball hit the ground, and the ball is not round, and so it does tend to do funny things, and that ball almost took a bad bounce for the Gophers.
Yeah, the football ball is oblong shaped.
It is ball.
But so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gophers at their own 18-yard line. They're going to come out with a single receiver to the right, twins to the left. 1 running back in the backfield to the left of the quarterback. Here's a snap, steps back, rolls to his left out of the pocket, throws across the middle. It's caught at the 21-yard line. He won't get much further than that, maybe the 23. before he's wrapped up, so possibly a 5-yard gain there.
You had mentioned earlier that they're a pass-happy offense, and so we see on first down, rolls out a little bit to his left and finds, looks like a tight end or a really big receiver that was able to catch that.
It looks like it'll be second down.
Maybe 4 or 5.
We'll call it 2nd and 5. Twins to the right, single to the left. One in the backfield with the quarterback. Here's a snap, handoff around the left tackle and beyond. He strings it out to the corner. He's going to get out to about the 33-yard line. Tackle led by number 22, Will Johnson. I'm sorry.
1. Yeah, Cunningham and Fox were both in
I'm
on
sorry.
that one. And
I completely misunderstood.
Bill Cunningham got a really good shot on the guy, but he pushed him forward and I think helped him to pick up that first down.
So it will be 1st and 10 for the Gophers at their own 33-yard line. They've got stacked receivers, Twins out to the right. No one left. Handoff again around the left tackle. He's caught in the backfield for a loss.
Fantastic play. I think, was that Aaron Fox that got in there?
28.
Yeah. 28?
Yeah, Aaron Fox was in on the tackle.
Darkazelli was in there as well. Yeah, it was just a handoff play, and Vikings read that very quickly. Were able to tackle him in the backfield. That's a loss of 4.
And so far, Michael Carter, the running back for the Gophers, steps back. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, goes up the middle. He'll get out to about the 37-yard line where he's tackled by number 3, Jaden Peterson.
Bill, I'm not so sure that wasn't a designed run. It didn't look like he had any intention of actually throwing the ball. Pulled it down pretty quickly, ran up the middle, and was able to pick up some pretty good yards.
I think you've got that called just right, Richie. 4-yard gain, call it third down, or not, excuse me, more than 4, about 8-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 6 at the 38-yard line inside their own territory. 9:30 to go in the first quarter. Trips to the right, no one left. Carter in the backfield with the quarterback. Quarterback steps back. He rolls this way, throws to the side. It's caught at the 43, and he's going to go down immediately. Tackled by Jaden. I think that's number 2. Number 2, Aaron Fox.
Fox got him. Is he? Yeah, they're giving him the first down. I guess he was right on the line.
Yeah, he caught it, and then he kind of spun and fell forward. And I think that's a pretty good spot at the 43-yard line.
You know, whenever I always like to say this, you know, the Vikings have the Navy jerseys on. They've got a gold letters with white trim. Gophers are not quite as easy to see. They've got a gray jersey with the blue numbers.
So now we've got 2 in the backfield with the quarterback, Rico. Handoff around the right guard. He's got lots of yardage up the middle, cross midfield, inside the 40-yard line.
Looks like Stephen Pennington got the run on that. Pretty good run. A bit of a cross tray, if you will. And so you fake the handoff to the left, and he actually runs it to the right. Pretty good play call right there. Had the Vikings off balance.
Cunningham and Fox in on the tackle. 1st and 10 for the Gophers at the Viking 38-yard line. 2 in the backfield again with the quarterback. Quarterback steps, throws across the middle. It's caught, breaks one tackle inside the 30. Gets pushed out of bounds by Jaden Peterson, I believe.
Arubla for the Gophers makes a catch. He's a pretty big receiver.
And that's going to mark up another 1st down and 10 for the Gophers at the Viking 25-yard line. So pretty somewhat balanced offensive attack so far. A couple of passes, quite a few runs. And they're finding some places to gain yardage against the Vikings early.
Look for the Vikings to stack up right here. This is usually where they strengthen up.
Snap. Handoff to Pennington. Around the right guard. Bounces off one guy. And he's going to get just inside the 25-yard line.
Might have picked up 1 yard. Really had nowhere to go. They were able to contain him pretty well. He kind of jitterbugged a bit, was able to, looks like, pick up 1 yard on the play.
2nd down and 9 at the 24-yard line.
Vikings run a bit of a 3-4 defense. They typically have 2 stand-up, if you want to call them outside linebackers. Or
Twins left, single right, one in the backfield. Quarterback Rico steps straight back. Now he's looking, throw straight across the middle. It's caught. He gets inside the 25, inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah,
Chris Johnson in there.
big hit by number 32. That's Damian Brown. If he had hit him the other way, it would have been better. Pushed him forward just a little bit. They're running a lot of just little short crossing patterns. Really not going down the field very far, but they're picking up yards on the run after catch.
It's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Gophers at the 19-yard line.
Big play early in the game.
Twins left. One in the backfield. Here's the snap. Handoff to Carter. He's going to go straight up the middle, breaks one tackle, then finally gets pulled down inside the 15-yard line. He'll have the first down. Aaron Fox comes up out of there. Also number 95 in on that play, Damian Sanchez for the Vikings.
At first contact, I don't think he had the first down, but he was able to spin his way for another 2 or 3 yards, and that's really nothing more than just an off-tackle run off the to the right side.
1st and 10 for the Gophers at the 13-yard line. Twins to the left, single to the right. Carter in the backfield. He'll take the handoff over the left side, takes it outside the tackle. He's met by some Vikings inside the 10-yard line.
Vikings maybe they look a little off balance right now. I feel like
7-9.
Deshaun Wells gets his name called out for helping on that tackle along with Braylon Cole. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 5.
I'm seeing second. Should be 2nd down, correct?
Okay, well, they've got the stick right across the field. It should. Here's a snap. Steps back. He throws to this side. Tried to one-hand it, did the receiver, number 88, but he couldn't bring it in, and that's going to be Preston Gout.
7 on coverage.
And coverage was by number 7, Braylon Cole for the Vikings, helping to defend against that pass play. And you're correct, Richie, that was 2nd down. I fell for it. The yardstick on the other side of the field was wrong, displaying 3rd down already. So a big 3rd down here, 3rd and 6, inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line at about the 8.
Gophers have a pretty good kicker. Let's hope they have to use it.
Here's a snap. Now he's going to keep it. He's got some yardage. He's going to get the first down.
Oh, he's
Aaron
close.
Fox over there in on the tackle, along with number 32, Damian Brown. And it'll be 1st and goal at the 3-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, and it's same type play. You know, he ran that earlier. He drops back to pass, but I don't think there was any intention, and saw really a pretty good running space over there on the left side. Headed right towards the sideline, was able to pick up the first down. So 1st and goal. Did you say the 3-yard line?
Yes.
They're knocking.
Twins to the right, no one left. One in the backfield with Rico, the quarterback. Corner blitz shown.
Flag
There's
on
a
the play.
penalty flag on the play. Kind of has the smell of offsides, the way that the line judge threw that flag and didn't stop the play.
Yep, offsides. Offsides is the call. Half the distance, they're going to say, to the 2-yard line. I guess they're saying now that it was on the 4-yard line, Bill, so now
Could
it
be.
goes down to the 2.
Well, there's still a guy standing over at the 3. On this side, there's a guy standing at the 1.3. And the ball is at the 1.8.
Yeah,
It's
it is
right
the
between the
1.8.
1 and the 2, yeah.
I guess that is half the distance if it's on the 3.
So 1.5 yards in penalties for the Vikings so far. Here's a snap. Steps back. He's got some pressure. Throws. And it is caught for a touchdown in the corner of the end zone by number 22,
14 on the coverage.
Moises Hernandez.
Pretty good coverage. The coverage came late, made a play on the ball, just wasn't able to knock it away.
And, you know, that's off the opening kickoff drive.
Yeah.
And they have eaten up, if my math is right, 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And pretty methodically, I mean, there wasn't anything that was just a huge play or anything, just 5-6 yards every single time.
Well, the extra point, the snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it's good. Your new score, Grand Prairie 7, Lamar 0.
Very methodical drive by the Gophers. It wasn't, we had said maybe a little bit of pass happiness from the Gophers early on. Certainly wasn't that time. Matter of fact, 14 total plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them passes. My math is correct. That would be 8 runs. 6 first downs, and yeah, they take up 7 minutes and 13 seconds on that offensive drive. And of course, the big deal is it is currently Grand Prairie 7 and Lamar 0.
Well, I think what the Vikings are going to have to do on defense next time they come out is plug some of those holes.
Yeah.
And don't fall for the quarterback stepping back, looking like he might pass. Be ready to stop him, especially outside the tackle box, because he was very successful on a couple of runs around the left tackle.
Yeah, Bill, and I should have mentioned this early on. Grand Prairie has been out of a lot of games. A lot of the games that they've lost big. And, if you're down by, 20, 30 points, well, you have to throw the ball a whole lot. And so some of the runs here might just be, hey, we can finally run the ball.
Cunningham and Bledsoe deep for the Vikings, standing at about their 5-yard line. Kicker's ready. He's addressing the ball. It's a low line drive kick that bounces. Number 4 picks it up at the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Finally dragged down at the 42-yard line, and that's going to be Robert Brown, of course, our leading rusher and leader in, I believe, all-purpose yards. Just right there, about a 22-yard return. Mm-hmm. That was a low line drive sort of knuckleball kick. It bounced once, and then Brown picked it up at about the 20.
Yeah, and just with a full steam ahead, straight forward. Love to see that.
So the Vikings come back out onto the field, led by sophomore quarterback Gannon Carey, Robert Brown in the backfield. Twins right, single left. Here's a snap. Bootleg by Carey. He's got no pressure at all. Throws over the middle. It's caught inside the 50 to the 45 to the 40. Bledsoe gets down to about the 38-yard line. And there was no pressure in the backfield. They were just guarding all the receivers. Yet Bledsoe had an easy catch to make, hauled it in, and then gets down inside the 40-yard line. What's that, Tony?
28 tried to tackle him, but ended up being 99.
Christopher Campbell made the tackle for the Gophers. Here's a snap. Brown straight up the middle. And he's going to push his way inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line, so that'll be about a 4-yard gain for the Vikings.
Bit of a hurry-up offense there for the Vikings. You'll notice big number 75 in there, Robinson, in at left tackle. When you have such a good running back, it's hard just to key on. It's hard to key on your quarterback.
Twins left, single right. Brown in the backfield to the left of Carey, the quarterback. Here's the snap. Handoff to Brown around the right tackle. He is stopped briefly, but then he bulldogs and pulls people with him inside the 25-yard line. That'll be another Lamar Viking first down, and they're going to be about the 23-yard line. I believe number 13, I heard Julian Salas was in on that tackle for the Gophers. Hurry-up offense for the Vikings. I like the up-tempo. Twins left, single right. Brown in the backfield. Snap. Brown takes the handoff. He looks to go outside the tackle and then cuts right up between the tackle and the guard and along the hash mark. He's going to get maybe 3 yards. 2 yards, 99. That's Christopher Campbell on the tackle.
A little bit of confusion on the Gophers, but the running play there really went right towards where they were confused, so weren't able to pick up what they wanted to there. And you're right, hurry up offense. Of course, now they're huddled up here.
1 yard gain, actually. Now it's going to be 2nd down and 9 at the 22-yard line.
Bunch formation.
Brown now in the pistol formation behind Carey, the quarterback. Man in motion coming across from the other tight end side, Bledsoe. And now a timeout is called by the Vikings. And I wonder what the Vikings didn't like that they saw. When you get into that hurry-up offense at up-tempo and you're ready to go and then you have to call a timeout, just kind of curious what might have been the situation they didn't feel comfortable with.
Not sure what he saw. I just saw one of the offensive coordinator go and kind of smack smack Gannon on the head. I don't know if that was to say, hey, you're supposed to snap that quicker, or we're doing something different there. Different formation. I haven't seen a whole lot of that, but it was kind of a bunch formation on both sides of both sides of the ball.
All right, Brown comes out of the game.
19 comes in.
That's Jalen Humbles, wide receiver.
Baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
I got you before you got it.
I know. Now he's going to line up as a running back in the backfield just to the right of Gannon Carey. Trips left, single right. We have him outnumbered a little bit on the left side. Carey steps back, looks left, now runs. A helmet comes off of a Gopher. Gannon's going to keep it. A penalty flag flies. It looks to be like maybe holding or blocking the back. We'll see what happens.
That flag was thrown a good 25 yards.
Yeah, he sailed that flag, and there was another one thrown closer to the hash mark. 4 of the officials talking it over.
Coach Skinner sneaking in, see if he can hear what's going on.
Hey, I want to know what y'all are talking about. Okay, here's the call.
Dead ball?
Unsportsmanlike penalty against the Gophers. Now, that's interesting that happened during the play.
But did he not call dead ball there?
I didn't see dead ball.
Oh.
So it's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That'll be tacked on to the end of the run, I believe, which will actually make it half the distance. But that's rare that you see an unsportsmanlike penalty during a play.
Well, and, I automatically assumed that it was going to be a face mask or hands to the face, because we did see the Gopher helmet fall to the ground. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but I didn't see anything particular.
First and goal at the 9-yard line now. The Vikings come out, pretty tight formation. Pistol formation now. It's going to be Brown coming up just to the left of Gannon Carey. Couple of tight ends over here. Brown takes the handoff around the right tackle, pulls some men with him to about the 5-yard line. So that's going to be about a 4-yard gain. Almost half of what's needed on the first and goal from the 9.
He has become such a reliable running back. I mean, you hand him the ball and he's going to pick you up 3-4 yards every single time, not to mention the occasional breakaway run as well.
Abdel Diaz comes into the game on the offensive line. Hardly ever we get to mention some of those guys, but it's good to call their names in.
Absolutely.
Numbers when we can. I thought I saw Brown come out, but he is in there. Pistol formation, Brown behind Gannon Carey. The snap, handoff to Brown, and he's going to scamper in for a touchdown standing up. And that made it look easy as Brown answering that question, what can Brown do for you? I can score a touchdown and hardly get touched doing it.
Isaiah Robinson is a huge, huge human.
Huge human, I like that.
I mean, number 75, he plays a whole lot of left tackle. He moved over to the right tackle on that particular play and opened up a monstrous hole for Brown to run through. Looks like the Vikings are setting up for the point after. Holder is down.
Robert Duncan, the kicker. It's up. Oh, it's way off to the right. That's going to be. Oh, it is good. I thought it went way outside.
It's way up to right through the uprights. Wow.
That
I thought it was way
Tony,
to the left.
You're a Longhorn fan. Did it look like it was hooking?
Well, the Vikings answer the call. 1 pass, 4 runs. 5 total plays, 3 first downs. They took 3 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock. There's only 1:38 left to go in the first quarter. Most important stat is it is currently Lamar 7 and Grand Prairie 7. Bill, they answered the call.
In half the time that the Gophers took to score their opening touchdown. Not bragging or anything, but it's like,
sure,
if you're going to answer back and score, do it quickly, do it like that. That's a good thing they did. Too early in the game, maybe.
Probably, yeah. They may bring. They've got 2 or 3 kickers that can do the job as far as point afters and things like that. I think they have one particular that's going to wind up kicking most of the field goals, but they do have several kickers that they could bring in.
So we had one really good pass play. Now is there another penalty? Because now we're kicking off from the 45-yard line inside Gopher territory, and I missed if there was a flag on the either touchdown or the extra point.
You know, we tend to watch most of the game, and I didn't
didn't see it either. Okay.
I didn't see a flag, nor did I see any call made, but obviously another personal foul.
Well, and the football is standing straight up and down. I wouldn't be surprised to see a squib of some sort. And here comes the kickoff. No, he kicks it high and fieldable at the 2-yard line. It's brought out to 5, 10, 15, 20. And he's going to be wrapped up and get just past the 25 to about the 26-yard line.
Yeah, really odd. Not sure what the foul, what the penalty was on that, but we'll take it.
I believe Jesse Hulbert was one of the tacklers involved there, about 3 or 4 of them.
Number 2 on the tackle.
Aaron Fox.
Aaron Fox. We've said his name already quite a few times. Of course, his brother played last year.
Amarian. All right, so the Gophers come out on offense. One receiver way split out to the left, one to the right, 2 in the backfield with the quarterback, Rico. Here's the snap. Throws over the middle pretty deep, and it's just beyond the reach of the intended receiver, number 16.
We just talked about Aaron Fox.
Kevin Moore.
Boy, he had him covered like a blanket on that one.
Aaron Fox providing the cover, just as you mentioned.
Matter of fact, I would say that Aaron had a better chance of catching that ball than the receiver did.
Yes, it was well overthrown, and even Aaron really didn't have a shot at it, but like you say, it was well overthrown. Same look now, one receiver way out to the left, one to the right, and then 2 running backs in the backfield. That's Pennington and Carter with the quarterback, Rico. Here's a snap. Pennington takes it around the right tackle, and he is ridden down to the ground by Jaden Peterson.
Same play that they ran earlier, you have 2 running backs in the backfield. You fake to the one going to the left, hand off to the one going to the right, and just run right off tackle. Able to pick up a few yards, but it was well played by the Vikings.
3rd down and 5 for the Gophers. Big 3rd down for them because I'd say at this point this is one of these where it's bigger for them than it is for the Vikings because the Gophers need to keep momentum at this point in the game.
You don't want to send your defense right back out.
Here's the snap. Steps back. Throws across the middle. It is caught. He'll have the first down past the 40 to about the 45-yard line. Number 88 made that catch, Preston Gout.
32.
And number 32, Damian Brown, led the tackle for the Vikings. 1st and 10 for the Gophers at their own 46-yard line. Just about 30 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
That was a
tie score 7-all.
Bit of a double clutch throw. Kind of tried to throw it and then pulled it back and then threw it. Nice pass play. Able to make up.
Twin receivers out to the left. Tight end in motion. Handoff to Carter. He's wrapped up in the backfield. And here's what's interesting. It was Jaden Peterson.
Yes.
But number 55 for the Gophers, Jose Hogan, he just ended up becoming another tackler the way he got kind of caught up in that thing. It was interesting to see.
Shot out of a cannon.
And that's into the first quarter with our score 7-7. The Gophers trying to keep their second drive of the game alive. Hey, we want to thank some of the important sponsors. Of course, every sponsor is important, but some of our key largest contributing sponsors, Randall Mill Pharmacy, voted #1 pharmacy in Arlington. See how they can assist you at randallmillpharmacy.com. Dr. Rebecca Greco of Physicians Ageless Solutions. Pendleton Photography, the official photographer of the Vikings football team. Big Apple Cafe and NYPD Deli, proud sponsor of Lamar Athletics. And they would like to thank the Viking community for 30 years of continued support. I've lived in Arlington almost 30 years. That's crazy. Arlington North Rotary Club. Be sure to sign up for their flag program for your front yard. Details available at arlingtonnorthrotary.org. And special thanks to Nizza Pizza and Raising Cane's for taking turns sponsoring team meals and taking care of our student athletes.
Bill, are you a Raising Cane's person? You do Raising Cane's?
I do like the Raising Cane's. And the first time I had it, I wanted gravy, but now I'm a caniac for that sauce. Holy cow.
No.
All right, 2nd down and 12. And it's a pass, and it looks to have been intercepted.
Let's see what they call. They're going to catch. Yes, they are. Right on the sideline. The ball was underthrown.
And I believe it was Aaron Fox that came up with that interception. I'm pretty sure. We'll see. We'll confirm that because of the way they treat those guys over on the sideline. No, it's number 14. My bad. It's Deontay Gentry. And I want to send a special shout-out to his dad, Dontre, who works the concession stands on Thursday nights a lot and treats me right every time I walk past that place. I'll just say that and leave it there. But appreciate you.
Pickles.
Appreciate you, Mr. Gentry, and congratulations to Deontay for getting that interception.
Read the play perfectly.
Yeah.
Made a jump on the ball, came in, and caught it right
Vikings
on the
first and 10
sideline.
at their own 48-yard line. Twins right, single left. Brown takes the handoff, looking for a hole, finally goes around the right tackle. He'll get across midfield to about the 47-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard gain.
6 and 2, 24 on those tackles.
Several Gophers in on the tackle. Rangel, Johnson among those. 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. Off the right hash mark. Here's the snap. Brown again, straight up the middle. He'll have the first down inside the 40, and he kind of slid by accident. He's frustrated. He was not taking a dive or a slide. He wanted to go further. And now up tempo again. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Gopher 37-yard line. Big chance to make some momentum statement here. Here's a snap. Brown takes it again. Bounces off some guys in the backfield across 35-30 to the 25. He tucks his shoulder. He pushes the defender backwards, and the defender trying to mouth off to him, and the official says, get out of there.
No doubt. Well, they've already had 2. I tell you what, if I'm the coach, I'm not very happy.
No, Miles Johnson was the tackler or the one who ran him out of bounds and the one that was trying to mouth off to him.
Let me get this straight. We've got 2 15-yard penalties. Are you looking for another one?
Exactly. All right, 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Gopher 23-yard line. Twins right on the short side of the field. One out to the left. Now it's Anderson in the backfield. Anderson takes a handoff, bounces off one guy, gets about 4 yards to the 20, maybe out 3 yards to the 21. Sidney Anderson coming in to give Robert Brown a breather.
You know, the last 3 runs have been over here to the right-hand side. Use the sideline as your friend, able to pick up yards. That's right up the middle. That's grown man yards up in there.
That's a really good way to put that, Richie. And I'll tell you what else. When Skinner talks on the coaches show about the tandem running backs, if you will, he doesn't say one's backing up the other. We have the benefit of 2 great running backs. And Anderson again in the pistol formation behind Carey. Carey fakes the handoff, bootlegs out to the left. He's looking, he throws into the corner of the end zone, but it's overthrown. In fact, it was tapped a little bit by the defender. And there's a penalty flag on the play. We'll see what that call is all about.
Gannon Carey, I think, thinks it may be on the Vikings the way he's reacting, but we'll wait and see what the call is.
They're waving off the flag. And I'll tell you this, I like it when officials will talk to each other and however that comes about and say, you know what, mistake.
Yeah, one guy says, hey, this is what I saw. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
He was,
yeah, exactly.
it looked like he was across the line. Were they saying maybe he was across the line when he threw it?
That could be 3rd down and 7 now for the Vikings. Twins to the left, single to the right. Anderson in the backfield just to the right of Carey, the quarterback. Got to get 7 yards to get the first down. Here's a snap. Steps back. Rolls left. Looking for a receiver. Everyone's covered. Now he tucks. He's going to have to try to run for what he can. He's pulled down, and then a Gopher kind of came flying in on top of him.
Looks like it may be a loss of 1. That's going to pick up a 4th down. Let's see.
They're back to the 22-yard line. Yeah, loss of 1 would be 4th down and 8.
It looks like they're going to go for this, Bill.
Yeah, see Robert Brown come back in there, and maybe they're going to find a way to get his kind of 8-yard average per game.
Yeah.
Or per touch, I mean.
Well, they have
trips
space
to the
over
right.
here.
Here's a snap. Kerry looks back to throw. He's got pressure. Flush out of the pocket. Rolls this way. Throws into the corner of the field. Bledsoe, but it one hops in front of him. And the ball will go over on downs. Well,
not a bad pass play, just underthrown. Bledsoe was coming back for it. Did a bit of a fly route. He was actually in the end zone. Came back The ball got to the 10. Unfortunately, Bledsoe was down at the 5.
So a change of possession, two different offensive drives here. We get the interception off of the Gophers offense. Now we turn the ball over on downs. But we won the field position battle on those two drives because now the Gophers are starting with this drive at their own 22-yard line, 1st and 10.
And Bill, we've seen quite a bit of their offense. I'm starting to see some of the same plays being recirculated. So the Vikings certainly see
Trips
that.
left, single right, one in the backfield. Quick step back, throws, it's caught. Breaks one tackle, breaks a second. He's going to get just past the 25. I think that was number 7, but that wouldn't make 100%
like
sense.
5 14 on the tackle.
Kelton Moore,
Okay,
the
thank
wide
you.
receiver for Grand Prairie.
Tony, did you say 5 and 10 on the tackle?
14.
5 and 14. Vaughn Smith and Deontay Gentry on the tackle for the Vikings.
And you could have mentioned about 6 different names that took a whack at him.
All right, 2nd down and 6 from the 26-yard line. They've got to get to the 32 for a 1st down. Tight formation, single to the left, one in the backfield. Stacked receivers just outside the tight end zone on the far side. Here's a snap. Handoff to the far side, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and is able to spin and get 2 more yards, but that's going to bring up 3rd down and 4, I believe.
He was stood up just beyond the line of scrimmage. Are they saying he gained a
It's
yard?
like, I believe, 2 yards.
2 yards? Okay. He was stood up and didn't get much more than that. The way I hate to say it this way, but kind of sometimes the angle in the way things happen, it's very hard to see who actually makes the tackle when it's right
All right,
there.
twins to the right, single to the left. One in the backfield. Tight end goes in motion to the far side. Here's the snap. Fakes the handoff. Turns. Throws back to the running back, Pennington, at the 20. He breaks one tackle to 25. And then he is brought down by number 24, Cooper Barnard, and maybe one other person.
Will Johnson overran the play just a little bit, but he was able to slow down that receiver enough for a couple of the Vikings to get in there and make the tackle.
And overall, collectively, by everyone we mentioned and others, huge 3 and out because the Vikings are going to get the ball back with 7:43 to go and the clock running.
Your favorite center fielder back in punt receiving.
Cooper Barnard, let's see if he can field this thing cleanly and bring it up the field a little bit. Here's the snap. Gets it away. Barnard calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 34-yard line.
Might have had a little more space than he thought he had, but
he had no defenders.
No.
He had no one to block for him, and even if he had made 1 or 2, he's going to get hit pretty quickly. And I'm going to say, if nothing else, out of self-preservation, his mom is going, way to go, Cooper.
Baseball players are smarter overall than football players. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know about that, but I mean, if I would have made the similar call, I believe.
No doubt.
Because there wasn't much hang time. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Twins left, twins right. I believe it's Brown in the backfield to the right of Carey, the quarterback. Here's the snap. Throws to this flat. 13 catches it. Jukes one man to the 35, 40, 45, and he'll be brought down right at the 50-yard line. And, of course, that's Camonte Williams with a big catch. And then all the yardage was on the run, about 16 yards after the catch.
I absolutely love it because you got Gannon Carey, who's a sophomore, throw into Camonte Williams, who's a sophomore.
A lot of prospects and future here. Trips to the left. Single to the right. The snap. Brown takes it around the right tackle, and he brings one guy with him. There's a flag thrown on the play. Brown gets 4 yards to the 46, but we're going to have to see what the flag is all about. Personal foul, face mask against the Gophers.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, that'll bat on another 15 yards, so that should take us down to about the 31-yard line, I believe, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. So that's at least 3 15-yard penalties in the first half against the Gophers, or 3. What would be one of them was half the distance, I believe, and on that drive inside.
Yeah, that's just sloppy. And a couple of those I don't know exactly what they did. That one was definitely a face mask.
1st and 10 for the Vikings. Trips to the right, single left. Here's the snap. Throws to this flat. Cunningham catches it inside the 25. Pulls a man forward to about the 23, 22-yard line.
24 on the tackle.
Tackle made by number 24, Kingston Malafu for the Gophers. Want to thank Tony Zimmerman doing our spotting tonight.
Doing a great job.
Tim Perry doing our drive charts. Our executive producer, Jay Ryan, next door doing the PA.
That ball just thrown straight to the flat, and it's just, hey, see what you can do with
Second
this.
and 1 now for the Vikings. Pistol formation, handoff around the right end. He's going to have the first down and more. That's Cunningham out of the running back position. That guy can do everything. He plays slot. He plays receiver. We see him on defense. He's a running back. He was filling the water jug. He was wrapping ankles.
Saw 13 and 6 in that tackle. A couple of
And on the tackle, among others, number 13, Julian Salas, number 6, Samuel Rangel for the Gophers. And it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 17-yard line inside the red zone. Let's see if we can complete the drive here. Twins to the left, single to the right. Robert Brown back in the game in the pistol formation behind Carey. He'll take the handoff around the right guard. Bounces off of one guy, pushes him down, and moves forward to about the 12, about a 5-yard gain.
You mentioned this earlier. The offensive line is making some holes for the running backs right now. These are runs right between the guard and tackle, and there is space to run.
And that's one of our improvements week by week through the season,
Yeah.
where the offensive line is learning to work together, and then the running backs, Robert Brown and Sidney Anderson, both of them, are keen at being able to find out where those holes are going to be. Twins left, single right.
Watch this run to go to the
Brown takes the handoff. He's met immediately. If he gets anything, I think he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard loss, so we'll find out where they mark it.
looks like the 13.
saw 29 in that.
Among others, number 29 in on the tackle, Matthew Bird. They had several Gophers that stopped him dead, and it looks like it will be a loss of 1 yard, brings up 3rd down and 6.
This is a pretty big play right here, and I think it's going to be run, and then if you don't pick it up, run again. They've been so successful with Brown running the
Ball on the left, hash mark your right, Richie, and we'll see if they bring it around the right side. Twins left, single right. Brown to the right of Gannon Carey, who steps back. He's got time in the pocket. Now he goes to the left. He's going to go, and he's going to – and he's tackled way out of bounds. That guy flew at him from the sideline. No flag is thrown.
No, I'm going to guess that the tackle started, I'm going to say near.
He must
the
have launched
sideline.
inside the field, but by the time he took him down, he was out in lane 3 on the tracker. So now they're going to say he went out of bounds about a yard shy of the line to make, and I think rightfully so. The Vikings are lined up to go for it. They've missed one time on 4th down previously. Now they come quickly to the line out of the huddle.
Wildcat.
Brown takes the direct snap. He's going to have the first down to about the 11. They're going to give him forward progress there, so that's going to be about a 3-yard gain.
Should be 1st and goal. Let's see.
Timeout for an injured player. One of the Vikings is down. It's number 75,
That's Robinson. That's not.
Isaiah Robinson. He's moving. He rolled over onto his back.
Play went really right towards him, and I can't see what they're looking at or anything like that. Bill, can you?
Not yet. I believe it's one of his legs. He was on his belly. He rolled over onto his back.
That young man, he just got back in just last week. It looks like he's played most of the offensive snaps tonight, so we hope that he's okay. Lamar has driven down the field, just run after run. They have thrown the ball a few times, not quite as successful with the running game with the passing game as they have been running the football.
He's sitting up now. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. It's more important to see how he's doing standing
Now
up.
they're going to get him up vertical. He's going to walk off so far under his own power, favoring that right leg, it seems like. But if it aggravated something, it's not horribly so because he's not even getting any assistance to get off the field. Skinner walking with him, Coach Skinner talking to him.
Skinner's not a small guy.
But Robinson makes him look small.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
He looks a foot taller than Skinner, doesn't he?
Yeah, when Skinner and I do the coaches show, we appear to be the same size.
That's because you're sitting down.
Exactly. But when I've walked with him, he's about a head taller than I am. All right, it's 1st and goal at the 6. The Vikings come to the line. Twins to the right. Single to the left. Robert Brown to the right of Carey. Carey takes a snap, throws high to the corner of the field, and it is caught. Touchdown Vikings. Camonte Williams will make that catch in the corner of the end zone. And now we are joined in the booth by Peyton Sherrod. Hi, Peyton. How are you doing? You brought us candy and stuff.
No.
Oh, no, it's just for you.
Don't fall for that.
I had to be a Viking to get
She had.
Oh, I'm glad you were down there with the Vikings. You did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now it looks like we're going to have Robert Duncan set to kick the extra point. Cooper Bernard holds. Did something happen to the ball during the kick? I thought it changed. I mean, it kept going straight. I thought it changed trajectory, but
No, I didn't.
it's good.
I don't think it was tipped or
Probably
anything
an
like that.
optical illusion for me. But the new score, Lamar 14, Grand Prairie 7. Richie, why don't you summarize that drive for us?
Absolutely. Well, most of it was running. It was a whole lot of Brown. 6 running plays, 3 passing plays, and of course the final passing play, a fantastic throw to Camonte Williams. The ball was it was one of those 2 steps, and then throw it, and Williams was in perfect position to be able to make that play. 9 total plays, 5 first downs, 3:42 off the clock, and there's 3:42 remaining in the first half. Your current score, Lamar 14, Grand Prairie 7.
All right, so Lamar's going to get to receive the second half kickoff.
Correct.
Ifins, they can have some really good defense here. That's a cool word. I like Ifins. Ifins, they can have a defensive stand.
Is that East Texas?
Oh, no,
West
that's West Texas, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
There's no telling what they would say
Well,
in
I
East
know,
Texas.
yeah. Here's the kick. It's a short kick up in the air. It's going to be fielded at the 18-yard line, past the 20. Oh! If he didn't grab some face masks, that is a classic clothesline tackle.
Goodness gracious.
Wow. Aaron
That's
Fox.
Aaron Fox. He has been everywhere tonight.
And talk about someone who almost everyone on the team is at least a head taller than him.
Yeah.
But he's one of the toughest, most go-getter guys out there.
He is. Well, and he's coming through there almost unblocked. It looks like the coach is talking to the referee and wondering,
Yeah.
the kid's head
it's hanging by a sinew.
25-yard line.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, sometimes we're at a distance away. It looks sometimes worse than what it really is, but it looked pretty bad.
It was a tough tackle, but
Yeah, it
everything, no one injured, fortunately. And I don't think any bad intentions at all. Twins to the left, no one to the right. Slot receiver to the left, steps back with the snap over the middle, caught by the tall guy at the 35-yard line, and he is met immediately by number 14, Deontay Gentry, who had that interception earlier. He just creamed that guy.
Kelton One's pretty tall. Kelton Moore is 6'1", pretty tall receiver. Went up to get that, and as he was turning, just absolutely stopped in his tracks.
2nd down and 1 for the Gophers at their own 35-yard line. Trips to the left, including a slot. To the right, including a slot receiver. The snap, handoff to 25, the running back. He'll get the first down. The forward progress is going to be out to about the 39 or 40. Chris Johnson, and what was the other? What number?
28.
And Fred Perry in on the tackle, and they do get to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gophers.
If you could get a 3 and out on this particular series, you might be able to use a couple of your timeouts. You might have a little bit of time to see if you can get one last score.
Here's the snap. Carter takes the handoff around the right end. He'll get pulled down to about
13, I believe.
the 45-yard line. It looks like maybe
32. 3 and 32.
Jaden Peterson and Damian Brown in on that tackle. Clock coming to 2 minutes left in the half and rolling.
We've mentioned Damian Brown's name a few times. He's got his nose stuck in there a few times this evening.
Another person answering, what can Brown do for you?
Mm-hmm.
2nd down and 5 for the Gophers at their own 45-yard line. Single to the left, single to the right, 2 in the backfield. Here's the snap. Handoff to Carter around the right side. He is breaking free. He gets inside Viking territory down to about the 40-yard line.
They've run that play a few times, and it's just a misdirection, and Lamar has not been able to stop that without them picking up some
Braylon
yards.
Cole and Aaron Fox in on the stop for the Vikings. 1st and 10 for the Gophers at the Viking 40-yard line. They have momentum on this drive. The clock okay for them so far. They have all 3 timeouts, a minute 20 to go. Twins to the left, 1 in the backfield. Twins to the right. Here's the snap. Throws over to the flat. He's caught inside the 30 for the first down to about the 26-yard line. Aaron Fox
Fox on the play.
and Jaden Peterson in there also.
You know, defense has not played horrible. I will say this. There have been some missed tackles on Lamar's side. Hurry up offense.
1st and 10 at the 26. Quarterback throws at the last second over the middle. 1st down inside the 15 to about the 11. Call it the 12, the 13-yard line. Aaron Fox and Chris Johnson in on the stop for the Vikings. And now a timeout is called by the Gophers.
49 seconds left to go in the half. And I think they would love to be able to get some type of score right here. Obviously, a touchdown would be their priority. And they're in great shape unless the Vikings can turn something around right here.
Well, you never know when that turnover is going to happen, whether it's an interception or a fumble.
If we could pick one, I would pick it right here.
Is this your time for a turnover, a pick?
You know, he's been pretty sharp. A lot of their throws have been relatively short. I'd love for him to show where he's going to throw it. 49 seconds, I would think that you might have time for one more run and then a few passes. So we'll see what order that comes
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Twins to the left, single to the right, 1 in the backfield. Here's the snap. Rico steps to his right. Has some pressure now. Bounces off of one guy, then throws it, and it's almost picked.
Yeah, and he was under duress. Matter of fact, he probably should have been sacked on that play. That's the problem when you have a limited amount. Now, they have 2 timeouts. You could have called a timeout, but you don't want to take a sack right here.
Oh, no, because you're going to move further back than you want to.
And have to use a timeout.
Correct. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 13. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. It was kind of close to being picked.
Don't be surprised if this isn't a run up the middle. Try and pick up some yards, use one of those timeouts.
Twins right, twins left, 1 in the backfield. Here's the snap. Steps back, throws to the flat, is caught at the 18. He's going to run out of bounds.
Chase out of bounds.
Boy, did he pick up a yard?
He picked up 1 yard, it looks like. What's that? I'm sorry, Tony?
Number 3 ran him out of bounds.
Jaden Peterson ran him out of bounds.
So that's almost a running play right there. Just threw it to the running back in the
In
right
the flat, yeah.
And was able to get out of bounds to stop the clock. 38 seconds left. 3rd down and 9. Ooh. This is
13 on the play clock. Twins left, single right, 1 in the backfield. The quarterback is back. He has some pressure. Cunningham in his face when he throws it. It's caught, and he's down to about the 1 yard
They're
line.
going to call him down at the 1. Timeout, Grand Prairie.
Linnell Cunningham almost was either able to sack the quarterback or knock the ball down. He got in his face and actually pushed him down as he was throwing. So now timeout's called by Grand Prairie.
Looks like Dante Board, number 15, is the one that caught that. He caught it right at the 1 yard line. Just wasn't able to turn and get the ball over the line, at least according to the officials.
So with 31 seconds to go in the half, the Gophers are trying to even up the score here. Now, we'll say this, Richie,
Sure.
the Vikings defense inside like the 5-yard line has been pretty good this season.
Mm-hmm. And I'm, of course, I'm not their coach, but I think with 31 seconds, you still have a timeout. You could run it right there if you feel good about picking up a yard, which they've run pretty well tonight. So would surprise me if they tried to throw it. The old saying, there's lots of different things that can happen with you when you throw the ball, and most of them are negative.
Michael Carter is lined up in the Wildcat. The quarterback, Rico, is not out there. It looks like they're going to direct snap it to him, and I'll bet he tries to run it up the middle. Here's a snap. He does run it, and he's going to get in the end zone for the touchdown.
Boy,
and
really
there's that.
Really not the drive that the Vikings wanted. As you and I were talking, I think the belief was, hey, let's stop them right here. Maybe you can get one last drive, try and kick a field goal or something, and just was not able to come up with the stop. Gophers ran the ball well, and they're going to line up for the point after kick and see if they can even up this score going into halftime.
Kick is up, splits the uprights. It's good. 3 guys are on the field to snap. The kicker and the holder. And I think we're going to have roughing the kicker against the Vikings, which will be assessed on the kickoff, which won't really, I don't think, do a whole lot because they'll kick from the 45-yard line. They may try for an onside kick.
27. Well, yeah.
If I was them, I would do that because you're kicking inside Viking territory.
Yeah, and the only problem is if there's a personal foul or something like that, well, then you pick up 15 yards and just one pass play and a timeout, and now you might possibly be in field goal range. I think they probably kick it deep, but we'll see. Boy, a lot of pass plays there. 1, 2, 3, 6 pass plays, 4 running plays. The final run was just a 1-yard dive, 3 minutes, 14 seconds off the clock. They leave only 27 seconds left to go in the half. And again, the most important score right there is Gophers 14 and Vikings 14. We said this before the game. Bill, these games like this are tough because the thought is, hey, this team is 0-7. They're coming into our house. We're a better team than them. We're going to beat them 35-3. Well, now it's 14-14 at halftime. Which team is going to straighten up and do what they need to do.
Right. Now, here's something interesting. Vikings are lined up with their line at just kind of inside the 50. So there were flags thrown. People were down. There's not a 15-yard penalty being assessed.
Did they?
What do you think the penalty was?
Unless they waved it off, but I don't know why they would have. Unless they said he took a flop, but they're kicking from the traditional 40-yard line.
Perhaps it was offsides, and they're saying we
could be.
If it was offsides, you would have declined it. Right?
Yes, exactly. But it was thrown in the backfield, I thought. Anyway, here's the kick. It's a short pooch kick to about the 25-yard line, and it rolls out of bounds.
What you want to do? Why would I know you want to kick the pooch kick, but if you kick it out of bounds, well, now you give the Vikings really good field position. Again, I know 27 seconds isn't very long, but all it takes is one pass play, and you've already shown that you can throw the ball deep to Camonte Williams. You've got Bledsoe that can certainly beat a man. I wonder if
I think they're trying to avoid the big return.
I got it.
You kick it out of bounds or you kick it to where he was going to have to call a fair catch. You're not going to advance the ball. Either way, you're at the 30-yard line, 25 or 30-yard line.
But
and they're going to
they kicked it out of bounds. I thought that was at the 35, right?
Yeah. So what's it called? Delay?
No, they call it offsides is what it's called.
Okay, but that's the first one they're going to
I'm sorry, yeah. Illegal procedure. It's when it goes out of bounds, yeah.
So yeah, this will be
at the 30-yard line, yeah.
Oh, that's all you get is 5 yards?
Yes, unless it goes out of bounds in front of the 30.
Oh, okay.
But it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 30-yard line. They've got twins to the right, one in the backfield, Robert Brown. No one left. Extra tight end.
Refs are still discussing.
There's lots to discuss.
Here's a snap. Bad snap. Brown picks it up. No, it's Sidney Anderson. My bad.
Wow.
Sidney Anderson picks up the low snap.
To him, he just didn't handle it.
Timeout, Vikings. Yeah,
Timeout, Lamar. 17 seconds to go.
direct snap to Anderson. Didn't field it cleanly, but was able. Man, boy, the fact that he picked up 2 yards, I think, is.
I thought he went down on one knee. I don't know how his left knee didn't touch the ground. Which it didn't. I'm glad it didn't, because now we picked up 2 instead of losing 4 or 5. Anyway, it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Vikings at their own 32-yard line. 17 seconds to go. They still have 1 timeout left.
Sometimes what coaches will do is on 1st down they'll say we're going to run this play. If we can get something positive, then we can go for a deep pass or something. So I wonder if it's going to be on this one right here.
All right, twins left, single to the right, 2 in the backfield with Gannon Carey. That'll be Brown and Anderson. Steps back, throws, it's complete. He's going to push forward to about the 40-yard line.
Set to 85, the tight end.
15, I'm sorry.
No timeout being called. They're going to let the clock expire for the half, I guess.
No, they got a clock stop down.
Okay, I was surprised they didn't call a timeout before that. And I think one of the coaches might be saying, didn't you hear or see us calling timeout? But we'll see what happens.
I mean, really, whether it's 2 seconds or 4 seconds, I think this is last play of certainly last play of the half.
First and 10 for the Vikings at the 40-yard line. Last play of the half, barring a penalty. Sidney Anderson in the backfield. Single receiver way out to the left. Trips to the short side on the right side. Ball being snapped from the right hash mark.
Gophers think that
Here's the snap. Gannon Carey steps back. Not much pressure. Now he's being chased out of the pocket and just throws it away. It's caught out of bounds by one of the players on the sideline. Too bad that Cordell Wilson won't get credit for that catch he made on the sideline. And that'll end the first half with the score of 14-14. Well, interesting situation. The Vikings do get the opening kickoff return to begin the second half.
Pretty even on drives.
Thank you, Tim Perry.
Yeah, so we've got really four scoring drives, 2 apiece. Both of them seem to be very run-oriented. The one that stands out, the stat that really stands out for Grand Prairie, that first drive taking 7 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock is pretty huge. 14 plays, that's really, really big. Pretty fantastic right there. The fact that Lamar was able to come up a couple 3-minute drives to take the lead, 14-7, and then that last drive, Bill, pretty frustrating. I think I would imagine that the coaching staff is going to talk a little bit about, hey, we've seen all the plays that they've run. We've got to stop them.
That's it, and you've got to plug those holes and not fall for the quarterback stepping back and then just running forward for about anywhere from 5 to 15 yards. We are being joined in the booth right now by Arlington City Councilman Raul Gonzalez, who I believe covers District 2.
That's correct.
Is that correct, Raul?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
We sure appreciate you making time for this. We've not met in person before. I'm Bill Frawley. Been doing the play-by-play. Richie Sherrod over here.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
And, hey, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll be able to visit with us a little bit here. And if you'd like to join in for part of the second half, as long as you can stay, you can provide some color commentary if you'd like to.
Well, I appreciate it. This is exciting. There's nothing like Friday night football. Growing up in El Paso, we never got past the first round. Or we always had the Mojos, the Odessa Permium, so we never My schools never went very
Now
well.
be careful because you might be talking to a mojo
Well,
right now.
I am sure they're all
So-
over.
Well, we had a lot of fun living out there, and I do know what you're talking about because I did go to Permian High School, graduated in '83. I didn't play football, did some other things out there. Now, I did break my finger playing football at Texas A&M when I was a freshman, out back behind the dorm, not on the team. So were you a native El Pasoan?
Yes, I was born and raised in El Paso. Graduated from Burgess High School in 1980.
Burgess,
So
yeah.
that was during the time when Eastwood won the state championship in basketball. I think that's the last time El Paso's won any state championship. So, but football, we were always killed by it. As soon as we got to the playoffs, we all lost to Odessa.
To Permian, yeah.
or Midland Lee.
Whoever won district. That was
Yeah.
back in the days when only one team advanced to the playoffs.
Correct.
And even then, there were some of those times where they had that coin toss to see which, and they did that at the Warfield truck stop between Midland and Odessa, and it was to see, well, who would play the El Paso. Now, El Paso Socorro made it to the baseball playoffs the
right.
second round recently. Lamar played them at Odessa High School, halfway point there, and Socorro won, I believe, that best of three series. So,
And just to take it full circle, you know Javier.
Oh, yeah,
Javier,
definitely.
he's from Socorro High School.
Yep.
So I'm sure you guys have talked some El Paso stuff. Now, you're a big-time football fan.
Yes, sir.
You're a big football fan. I want you to share the story. Javier told me a little bit about the story. When you were a high school senior, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
You're a big Cowboy fan.
Yes, sir.
What did you used to do to make sure you could watch Cowboy games?
It really started when I was a sophomore. I would fly into a Cowboy game to Texas Stadium, fly into left field, take the shuttle to the game for a 12 o'clock noon game, and take the shuttle back after the game to go back to El Paso so I wouldn't miss school. So I flew by myself.
Wow.
That's the greatest story I've ever heard because, look, as sophomores, I would go to all the varsity football games, but man, to get on a flight to make sure you made all the Dallas Cowboy games, that's a true fan.
Well, I didn't make
That's
them all.
fantastic.
I just
a lot.
the ones that you could.
Yeah.
And I went to all the high school games. Everywhere we played when Burgess played, I went. And I believe in fine arts, sports. It's important, and supporting your schools. I'm a big UTA supporter.
Yes.
I go to all the basketball games. It's just important, and I really believe it brings community together.
Well, speaking of UTA basketball, isn't that a nice facility they have at College Park for the basketball teams?
It's fabulous. When I moved here in 1980, and I followed UTEP for many, many years. In fact, we won the NCAA in 1966, and I had several of those players that were on that team as substitute teachers. It was an experience to be with them. But when I came here and saw we played at Texas Hall, I was like, what is this?
Wasn't that the most unique basketball arena anywhere, the stage of the auditorium?
Absolutely.
And if no one had ever been there, you just can't even describe it. It's like
True.
You're sitting down in the auditorium to watch a play, and then all of a sudden a basketball game is set up. I remember taking my sons to that one time.
So
Sports Illustrated had that as you know this, of course, but Sports Illustrated years and years ago said it was the most unique place to watch a basketball game in the country, Texas Hall, to watch UTA basketball games because it's a stage. So
Oh, yeah. And now, isn't it interesting, a WNBA team calls College Park their home court.
it's exciting, that's for sure. At Texas Hall, we used to sit right behind the bench, so all the coaches that were there, we got to hear all the the huddle and everything really neat. So it was really, really cool. In fact, one time, I really get into the games. I get into all sports, and I like to, talk to the referees and everything else. And one time, I said something to one of the players to myself and loud, and he heard me, and he was about to jump into the crowd to go after me. All I said was just hustle. I said, shut up and hustle. I learned from that, and especially when I got elected on the school board, I just quit yelling it all because okay, now I'm an elected official. I got to watch what I say. So,
Well, speaking of being an elected official, you represent District 2, which, tell us, it's like Matlock to the Kennedale city limits, and how far north does it come?
north is I-20, goes all
Okay.
the way west to 287, all the way down to Kennedale, Mansfield, and then east of Matlock. So it
Okay.
includes the Martin High School school area, not the high school. The only high school in my district is Summit High School, which is
A Mansfield School District, but Arlington city
Yeah,
limits.
40% or 38% of the kids in Mansfield ISD live in the city of Arlington. People don't realize it. So when I speak to people here in Arlington, especially the elected officials, I said, do you know there has been 5 state championships won by citizens of Arlington since 2008, and they look at me like I'm crazy. It's like, no, but the Summit girls, 2,
Wow.
they
Yeah,
were all
that's
they were all they were all Arlington citizens. Timberview boys,
wow.
2, and the girls 1. And it's like, it's and that's why I got on the school board. I really believe
Right.
that we needed to support all the individuals. In fact, the schools in South Arlington they have the same demographic, same socioeconomic as Bowie, Sam, and Seguin. So, we have a lot in common. And so,
I'm glad you mentioned that because you were on the school board
Yes, sir.
in Mansfield for quite a while. And I'd like for you to talk just a little bit. Arlington has gone through their growing pains. You've got a city of almost 400,000 people, and Mansfield's starting to go through some of those growing pains, aren't they?
yes. Yeah. And what's amazing is most of those people that live in Mansfield used to live in Arlington.
Yeah.
And so, they left Arlington for a certain reason. Now they're leaving Mansfield to go to Midlothian. So.
Yeah, and so it's just as that you start to see that urban sprawl, if you will, of the Arlington city is citizens moving a little bit further south into Mansfield. Some of those people moving to Midlothian, and 10 years from now, the people in Midlothian will be talking about, well, we're moving to whatever's south of that, you know. We so appreciate the leadership that you've shown, not only city council but school board and things like that. You've really been a leader. You're a huge sports fan.
Yes, sir.
And here we are at the Cravens Field. You met your wife working at Arlington Stadium, is that correct?
That's correct. The old
I did a
Arlington
little
Stadium.
bit of reading
Yeah,
beforehand.
yep.
Tell me what were you guys doing? What job did you have? I'm assuming it wasn't first base for the Rangers or anything like that.
No, sir. No. I tried out, but they laughed at me. So no, I worked concessions. I worked for the El Paso Diablos back in El Paso when I was in high school.
Oh,
minor
league
league team for the Angels.
Double A, I think.
It was Double A at
Yeah.
the time, yeah. So so when I came here, it was natural. I thought, you know what, I know what I'm doing. So I went there and became a supervisor right away. And my wife was working there. She was a stand manager, and I just remember seeing her the first time, and we ended up dating for a while, and then we broke up because she said she just wanted to be friends, and I got tired of that line because women would like the bad guys, in high
Sure,
school. So
sure.
I heard that line to my 10. So when she told me that, I said, you know what, I have enough friends. I don't need any more friends. And so we broke up, and but you know what, I reached out to her after we broke up for a couple of months, and we've been married 36 years now. So
wow, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic. So, huge sports fan. We've heard, so you've been to Dallas Wings game. You've obviously been to tons of UTA basketball, volleyball, those kind of games. Rangers fan.
Absolutely.
Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan.
Dak or Cooper?
You know what? I think I think it's Dak, but they're keeping it simple for Cooper, which if you remember when Dak played with Romo, it was simple.
Sure.
They didn't have no audibles. It was they always, snap the ball with 10 seconds left. And as he's gotten more experience, I noticed that he's looking at it, trying to figure out more, and I think he's gone beyond the basics. I don't think he's a Brady or a Roger Staubach or Aikman. So he's a great quarterback, but not those type. And I think they need to keep it simple, because if you see Cooper Rush, the same thing happened at the beginning. If you saw last week's game, he's trying to make some changes at the last minute, and you saw he didn't have much success. So I don't know if it's the play calling or what, but I just feel you got to keep it simple, especially the tools that they have. They can make it, and with the defense you have now, I think it's we can do some damage, but I think you've got to keep it not complicated. I mean, he's not Brady,
Right,
he's not
right,
Aaron Rodgers.
right.
None of them are. I mean, Dak has more talent, but they're keeping it simple for Cooper. So I think Cooper should play this week and see what happens, because you play those Eagles, you never know what's going to happen to your quarterback.
Totally agree. Stars fan?
You know what? I don't have cable, so during that whole time, we never got to
rant on
see it.
Valley Sports right now.
Yes. It's like I don't get to watch any more bowl games, anything like that.
Right.
It's like the only bowl I get to see is the Sun Bowl, because it's still on CBS,
Yes.
and I think you'll see one other one, but the rest are on cable.
Yeah.
And I'm just never had cable. I'm just.
And you've got to love watching a bowl game from your old hometown of El Paso, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
Including
Absolutely.
games that happen to be broadcast there. But the Sun Bowl, and that's one of those ongoing from its original stadium, and just that set in the mountainside, and all that. That's just a neat
Yeah,
atmosphere.
beautiful. If nobody's ever been to a game there, you really have to, because you're right there on the border. You can sit in the stands and see Mexico just across the river right there, and it's set. It's right in the middle of the mountains, Franklin Mountains. They burn the big M for miners on the mountain. They have it's white painted rocks, and during the games they light it up, and it's just a neat atmosphere. I remember going there in the '70s with my dad, and when I moved here in '80, I went to UTA looking forward to the new stadium, and went to the first game, went to all the games, and I graduated in '85, which was the last year they had football here. So the only thing I can say about UTA is we have not lost a game since 1985.
No.
But I miss it. That's one thing that's the only thing I sort of regret about coming here is like I'm really into football, so I don't have a university to cheer for.
Yes.
I gotta ask you one question about living in El Paso. Did you ever go eat at Rosa's Cantina?
We never did, but I know where it's at, so we never ate there. No, sir.
Well, only reason I ask, my dad passed away 3 years ago, big Marty Robbins fan, and the El Paso song's big, one of his favorite stuff. And on his last few kind of weeks, months, I played a lot of Marty Robbins for him. Had a work trip out to El Paso and convinced a few people to go eat lunch with me at Rosa's Cantina so I could take a picture of it and show it to him. And that, I'd been to El Paso lots of times, but then we found out there really is still a Rosa's Cantina out there. And
I'll be honest with you, I did not know that till about 10 years ago.
Okay, well, it's a hidden gem, I guess.
And so my wife, she's a big Marty Robbins fan, so when she found out there was a true Rosa's Cantina, she was shocked I was shocked as much as she was, so.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about your time here as an Arlington City Council member, District 2 again. What are some of the things that led you to say, I want to take that step in city government and represent my constituents?
Well, I never really had plans to run for city council, not even school board. It happened. I knew when the city of Arlington passed term limits that I knew somebody's life was going to change because Sherry Capehart, was not going to be able to run anymore. Little did I know it was me.
Interesting.
But, when they approached me and with, the knowledge that I had of being on the school board for 12 years with budgets and working and understanding how meetings work and governance over, making sure that, we don't get into the weeds of running the city, understanding that. So I just felt, what, I got to get back. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer at age 43.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's what really got me more motivated to give back. My dad retired at 62, he was the postmaster of El Paso. Retired at 62. We diagnosed a month after he retired, and he was gone 3 years later. I was diagnosed 9 months after he passed away.
Oh, wow.
And so I was only 43. The doctor said, you probably don't have cancer, but with your dad's history and your PSA going up from a 1.9 to a 2.1, let's just check you. And 9 out of the 12 biopsies came back cancerous. Wow. And so that's what it's all led to. It's, I'm not a developer. I'm not a business owner. I represent the people. The mayor sometimes says, you're making the developers unhappy because of the questions you ask. And I said, I'm sorry, but I represent, there's 200 developers. I represent 395,800 other individuals that I have to worry about. And that's how I look at it. I believe everybody should be treated equal. There's no reason just because you're a developer or you're a big business owner, hey, well,
cities thrive on development, but have them do it correctly, right, and orderly, and make sure it's suitable for what they're doing, and make sure services can not only be provided but maintained to a certain level. Would you say?
Yes, sir.
So, what would you say are some of the things And I just get the idea of talking to you right now. You're not one of these people that say, "Oh, I'm so proud of this." But what are some of the things, accomplishments that you're glad to have been a part of? If you want to say you're proud of it, of course, that's fine too.
Well, with city council, it's just, keeping the momentum going. It's kind of hard when I'm only going to be able to serve 5 years because I ran during 2020 during the COVID year. So I was supposed to run for May. They moved that election to November, which was the presidential election. That's probably the most difficult election I've ever been part of because of it was the presidential time. Yeah. And so I really can only serve 5 times or 5 years. So there's nothing really that I have that's long term, but I just want to keep the momentum going. I moved here in '80. I raised my family here, and I want the young students to want to raise their families here, to understand this is a great community to live in. I mean, it's a caring community. It's a can-do city. I mean, with the Cowboys and the Rangers, everything that we've done, and just seeing the entertainment district grow. So, we're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna have a state of the district meeting next this coming Wednesday. we're going to have some major announcements. We're
Awesome.
keeping it hush. The mayor's going to make a big deal of it. There's a lot of things that are happening that's just going to be really exciting and you know what? And I don't take credit for it because it's all upon the shoulders that we're following. I mean, it's momentum, and that's important. The same thing with school board. When I got on the school board, I said, "Holy mackerel! I got to keep the school board, school district up while I'm here," and I feel the same pressure in the city of Arlington. It's like, okay, I got to keep the momentum going. We got to keep this happening. We got the rolling hills. That's a big issue, right? That's the biggest development that we're looking at. So we got to make sure we do it right.
Yes, sir.
We got to learn from the past. We gotta. Just because it was done this way, I don't like that answer. I like to. Hey, things have changed.
What is it for today?
Yep.
Well, it's interesting. I do transportation planning and research. I work for a research arm of Texas A&M called Texas A&M Transportation Institute. All over Texas, I go around the country at different things. Broward County, where I just kind of was nearby for vacation for a few days, they are locked. They've got the Everglades to the west, the Atlantic to the east, Dade County south, west or Palm Beach County. They are in a situation where they can't expand. They're going to go vertical.
That's what we have.
And so that's okay. So interesting thing, because to a certain degree, the city of Arlington somewhat built out. Not much, if any, vacant land left. Correct?
No, sir. There's not much, and we have to be wise on what we develop into commercial, because that's a tax base we really got to focus on, because most of the taxes are paid by our property owners, and we've got to keep taxes as low as possible, but we've got to encourage more business. One of the great things about Arlington and that COVID has helped us is there's a lot of law firms and accounting firms that have an office in Dallas and Fort Worth, and they're consolidating, and we're right in the middle, so we're going to be able to take advantage of it. And when people come here, I mean, I just came back from Texas Municipal League in San Antonio, and it was neat to talk to city councilmen from all over Texas, including Plano and Frisco, and they say, we spend a lot of money in your city, which is just neat. So it's amazing when people come and see Arlington how much it's changed. I know when WrestleMania came in, they were at awe. When the people, were looking at possibly, hopefully getting the All-Star game for Major League Baseball, they came in, they couldn't believe how different it was from the last time we had it. So it's really exciting to be part of it. I don't take credit for it. I just, like I said, just got to make sure that.
Spoken like a true leader, and I know your leadership is part of the reason for the success. Other members of the council, the mayor, and then, of course, staff. I used to work in local government myself for a few years before I embarked on this part of my career. So I know what that's like, and you're well spoken like a true leader. The city of Arlington has many facets to it. You move around different parts of the city. What are some of the things that, you would say stand out in District 2 that you represent?
The diversity. I mean, that's the whole city. It's the diversity. I mean, District 2, I'm just proud of the whole city. There's nothing that really stands out other than, we've got the most green space. We've got beautiful parks, the same thing. We've got, the Sherry K Park, park out there. We've got several large parks. We're redoing a lot of the tributaries, trying to fix the floodplain. So, I guess I'm a poor spokesman for District 2, but
but I think what I'm hearing.
I never thought about it. It's like, what's the best thing? It's like I know what I like about it. I work in downtown Dallas, so I'm close to I-20.
There
if
you
I
go.
need to go to Fort Worth, I can hop on. I'm less than 2 minutes away, so it's easy off. And then when I was on the school board, it's just down the street. It's easy. So, but yeah, we've got great restaurants. I always support local restaurants. I don't like going to the name brands. I like to support the Bigotes and all these restaurants, Candlelight, Gilligan's, and we've got Good Day down in South Arlington. We've got a lot of restaurants like that, and that's what it's about.
I'm the same way, eating here locally and up in the mid-cities. I have a part-time job at a church up in Colleyville. Loved it. And when I travel around Texas, around the country, I've told some stories in here. I love finding the local home, even if it's a local chain, but, something that's local, and supporting local business owners, local staff, and people working at those places. So, this is kind of funny. Speaking of that, one time I was up in Michigan working on a project. Co-worker and I pulled into this small town. We stopped at the Hampton Inn where we were spending the night. I said to the staff, hey, is there a locally owned restaurant that we can try tonight? And no kidding, the person turns to the back and says, "Hey, Fred, doesn't someone local own the Red Lobster?" So kind of glad it was local him, but not exactly. So we had to be more clear. But again, nothing against Red Lobster. Love the cheddar biscuits.
Absolutely no.
But it is so much fun to find those unique local restaurants and stuff. What do you see as some of the challenges facing Arlington here in the next 5-10 years?
Housing. I mean, number one, housing. You know, they're expecting over 1 million people to come to Tarrant County in the next 10 years. Current population in Tarrant County is 2 million, so you're looking at adding, another million in the next 10 years. Where, and the housing costs are amazing. I can't imagine coming out of college with college debt, even without college debt. How do you afford a house? How do you afford an apartment? I mean, there's nothing. So we're looking at hopefully changing some things that allow homes to be at a smaller. I'm not trying to scare everybody out there, but it's just when I bought my first house, it was 1,200 square foot. The smallest house you can build right now in Arlington is 1,500 square feet. So I think we need to go back to some of the basics of a smaller home because I think home ownership is important. Nothing wrong with apartments, but a lot of people want to own a home and they can't. I mean,
It's a challenge.
You have to have roommates, to do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And I have a neighbor that owns a house, and she's got 3 girls that live with her, and they told her, you can't get married because we are going to have to live here. We can't afford anything else. And
You have to have the 4 people sharing the rent costs. What are some of the biggest benefits you see of Arlington over the next 5 or 10 years?
just the industry.
Or strengths. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, obviously the entertainment district. I know people don't like to, it's kind of that's why the city bounced back so quick from COVID. I hear a lot of criticism about the entertainment district, and I understand that, Jerry Jones getting the money, but we were one of the first cities in the country, if not the first city, to bounce back so quickly. I mean, we had the World Series here. We had, the Rose Bowl. I mean, we were open, and now we're known as the backup to every major sporting event, and that's actually everybody has told us that the Super Bowl we're
World
the
Cup.
backup if something happens they can come here.
They will. That's cool.
Yeah, so, but
Yeah.
I mean, the people working together. It's a caring community. Mansfield ISD, Arlington ISD, we work well together. Dr. Cavazos, Dr. Cantu. It's all about the kids. I'm working now with the charter schools and private schools, which is different for me because I was always at a public school. But it's our future. It's our kids, and I think that's what the biggest positive is. Our future is our students. I mean, they went through so much. They learned a lot during the COVID, and I think it's just going to make them stronger than us. I feel like they've learned from our mistakes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing our young people take over and do what needs to be done. So,
Well, I'll support that. Both of my sons, one's about to graduate from Texas A&M in December. The other one is a sophomore at a small Christian college in Northwest Arkansas, Ecclesia. Both went K through 12 Arlington schools. Butler, Shack, Lamar here. And, it's interesting. You mentioned it earlier. The city is pretty much diverse, population all around, and including this area. And I've got to say, I think that's one of the strengths that helped both of those boys become young men through the school system and prepare them for what lies beyond high school.
it's the real world.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the way it is. My son went to Sam Houston University, and his roommate was from Cypress, Texas. And he came, from it was not a diverse university, and he had a difficult time. And my son said, "This is what it's about. This is the world." And,
Yes.
And you got to get along with everybody. We're not all the same. We're not going to agree, but we've got to work together. I mean, that's it. I mean, God put us on this earth to help each other, and that's what it's about.
Definitely so. We've been joined now by your friend, Javier
Yes.
Nejera. Javi, how are you doing this evening?
Thanks. I'm super late, but
glad you're
actually,
here,
Earl and I
man.
were at a similar event earlier, but thank you. I don't know if he talked about this. I think he talked about his cowboy.
Oh, yes.
assassination.
Richie made sure to ask about being able to
It's
get to the games
it's
and the
just a
shuttle.
fascinating story. But I don't know if he talked about how he got to Arlington. He earned a scholarship. Went to Burgess High School in El Paso. Raul, tell us about that because that's also part of the great story.
Well, I've always liked working, and as I told you, I worked for the Diablos. Also worked for throwing newspapers for the El Paso Times and Herald Post.
I was a paper boy also.
Yeah, so it was afternoon paper and the morning paper. I don't even know how I did high school, but I just remember getting up at 5, and right after high school, I had to throw the paper. I guess that's why I didn't have a girlfriend in high school. I don't know. I'll use that as an excuse. I don't know, but yeah, and they gave us, a scholarship. They gave a trip to the best carrier in El Paso, and I really thought I was going to win that. I mean, I was convinced. It was a trip to Ireland, and my best friend won it, and I was like, But you know what? He deserved it. We're still friends. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Kenneth Wong, and so they were going to offer 2 scholarships, and he's a better. I mean, he's smarter than I was. I mean, I was an AB student, but he was an A student, and I was awarded the scholarship, and it was a $5,000 scholarship that allowed me to go anywhere. I didn't think it was a lot of money at the time, but it got me through UTA 5 years paying tuition and books. And
Wow.
so I wouldn't be here. My dad said you're going to have to go to UTEP unless you get a scholarship, and without that scholarship, I wouldn't be here.
And by the way, his dad was the postmaster of El Paso.
That's what. Yeah, he mentioned that also.
Yeah.
Thanks for making sure he
Yeah.
got. Yes, that's a good shout out there.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of minutes before halftime ends and kickoff will happen soon after that. What else would you like to say about Arlington, the Metroplex, and remind us again, when is that State of the City address where some really cool announcements are going to be made?
It's this coming Wednesday at 11:30 at the
Esports.
Esports Stadium, and so
Okay.
you can still get tickets. It's going to be exciting to see the news, and the mayor's kept it under wraps.
Good.
He keeps building it up. Like you
Yeah.
will never see anything like that.
this. So, but he's going to highlight all the things that are happening in Arlington and the diversity, the schools. What I just mentioned, both school districts, working together for the betterment of all that. You'll see all that coming
Good.
to play. So yeah, the mayor's done a great job bringing it all together. I mean, they've all done great jobs. I don't, because I'm talking about one doesn't mean I just talking bad about the other, but just there's always been something, and we just keep adding to it, which is just exciting to be part of.
Speaking of sports, and that's been a big part of our conversation this evening, and I'll mention back to my sons now, building things up and then and keeping your word and those types of things. A few years ago, my son Charlie said, and I'm a big Astros fan, love the Rangers, of course, too, but hey, Dad, is it like in the beginning of the season, hey, Dad, if either the Astros or Rangers make it to the World Series this year, can we go to a game? And I said, Charlie, of course we can, knowing, and I'll say knowing in the back of my mind, neither team had a snowball's chance. What happened, of course, the Rangers make it to the World Series. And when we get there, or that comes to that point, Charlie says, Dad, remember? But yes, I do. And sure enough, we scrounged up the money for scalp tickets. And how great to see a World Series game in the city of Arlington with an Arlington-based team.
Yep. It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. We just need our Cowboys to do well, and we got to get there again. So hopefully,
We got a good chance. I'm going to sign off, gentlemen.
All right, Javi, thanks for being here and for joining us here. And so, our councilman, are you able to stay with us for a little bit? Do you have to run
Absolutely.
off soon?
No,
Please do.
No, I'm here. I love sports. I love to watch. This is the first time I've been at Cravens Field. All these years that I've been here, I've never been here to a game. So
Okay. Well, we're excited because Cravens Field is going to be redone in a couple of years. Wildman is. After, I guess, they're going to build the new stadium at the Martin High School campus. We're excited because we understand there might be windows that will open. So, believe it or not, that's exciting. Come on up to the booth there, to the counter here. And so we're about to see kickoff. The score tied once again, 14-14.
Hey, Bill, am I up right now?
You are now.
I am now. Thank you. Hey, let me get a score update really quick.
Please.
So obviously the score's 14-14 here.
Who's winning?
It's both. Neither.
Okay.
Over at this game's being played over at Maverick Stadium. Martin 46, Sam Houston is 14 right now. I hate to say it this way, but game's a little closer than I thought it might be. 46-14 Martin so far at halftime over Sam Houston. And then 28-21 South Grand Prairie is ahead of the Colts right now. That game being played over at the Gopher Warrior Bowl.
All right, well, Bledsoe and Cunningham are deep for the Vikings back at about their 5-yard line. Everything set for a kickoff. Hopefully the Vikings can come out and have a sustained drive. Kick is up. It's a fairly short kick that's going to be fielded at the 20-yard line, out to the 25, to the 30, dragging people with him to the 36, maybe 37-yard line. Tackled by number 8, Jaquez Hurt, and number 10, Kelton Moore.
Do you still follow El Paso? You still follow the El Paso schools?
yes, sir.
Do you?
And not just my high school, but
Sure.
I still follow UTEP. They've had some big wins this year, so it's nice to see them. I think they have 3 wins now, which is a first for the Miners for many, many years. So
Vikings come out 1st and 10 Two in the backfield with Gannon Carey, the quarterback. Twins to the left, single to the right. Kind of an uncommon two-back set. Now one of them goes in motion across to become a slot receiver on the right side. Here's the snap. Pass to the flat is caught at the 35 to the 40. Gets to about the 47. He's still in bounds on his feet. It's going to be close to a first down, but about a yard short.
Was that Deshaun Wells? Was that 9 or was that
I think it's Bledsoe.
Bledsoe?
Tackle by number 3, Delani, and number 24, Malafu. Second down and 1 for the Vikings at their own 46-yard line. Twins out to the right, single to the left, one in the backfield to the left of Carey. Snap. Brown takes the handoff around the right tackle, across midfield to the 45, goes forward to about the 44-yard line.
Boy, such a smooth runner. Just again, just a right, an off the right side run, and picks up enough for a Vikings first down.
Tackle by number 3, Gavin Delani. Fairly up-tempo here. One to the left, Twins to the right. Here's the snap. Brown takes it over the right guard. He's going to get across the 40-yard line to about the 37. That's a big gain there on first down.
Just once again, a run right up the middle. I mentioned this term earlier, a grown man run, because he just continues to churn his feet.
Julian Salas, one of the tacklers there. Here's the snap. Brown again goes right, then comes up the middle. He's still on his feet trying to get close to the first down. He'll get to about the 35 and a half, maybe 36-yard line. Number 7. Tackle by number 7, Albert Vasquez.
3 straight runs with Brown, and he stays in the game.
Ball at the 36-yard line. We'll call it third down and 2. And the Vikings step up now. Pistol formation for Carey with Robert Brown behind him. No one out wide either side. Here's the snap. Handoff to Brown. Goes out to the right. Tries to out. He's got a first down on his feet. He'll get to about the 31-yard line where he's tripped up. 29 is Matthew Berg. We've called his name earlier in the game. So some big momentum here for the Vikings on their opening drive. Now to the 31-yard line.
Bill, this will be overlooked, but that ball was snapped high. Gannon was able to grab that ball out of the air and bring it down quick enough for that handoff to be. Because if that doesn't get to him in time, he probably doesn't make the first down.
Twins left, single right. Brown to the right of Carey, the quarterback. Here's the snap. Carey looks right, now goes left, flush out of the pocket, evades a tackle, throws, and it's caught on the sideline in bounds. They're saying no catch. Now, how did he not catch? Did he bobble it? Because he was in bounds.
It looked like his rear end was out of bounds when he finally got control. Fantastic throw towards the sideline. Is that
Derek
Fox?
Bledsoe.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, it looks like a number 2 at first.
Yeah,
but
it did.
Very rare for Fox to be out there on offense, but hey, you never know.
So.
But those jerseys get wrinkled up a little bit, so that'll bring up second down and 10. Single to the right, Twins to the left. A pistol formation with Brown behind Carey. Corner blitz showing. Brown takes it. He's going to string it out this way, across the 30. He's going to pick up about 3 yards to the 28-yard line. That's going to bring up third down and 7.
He's run really, really hard tonight, and there's a lot of these plays. It's hard to do it justice in a broadcast that would probably just be 1 or 2 yards, but he's able to get 3 or 4 out of it.
Jacob Zacharias down there on the front lines making some holes. Nick Bordenaro in on the offensive line right now. 2 in the backfield. Now Bledsoe goes out into a slot position to the right. Twins left, Twins right. Here's a snap. Handoff to Brown up the middle. He's following some good blockers. He's pushing out, driving those legs inside the 25-yard line to about the 23. He'll be shy of the first down.
This is a really makeable fourth down, though.
Numbers 58, Esai Gonzalez, and number 99, Christopher Campbell on the tackle. Again, want to thank Tony Zimmerman for our spotting tonight.
We saying 4th and 2 here?
4th down and 2. Maybe a short 2, but it's right at 2 yards to go, and they're going to come out. Now, Sidney Anderson is lined up in the Wildcat. Oh, the snap gets away from him. And yeah, he was trying to pick it up, and he should have. Either way, it doesn't matter because that was 4th down, but he did what he could. Yeah. And I take that back. That's my mistake. That was not Sidney Anderson. That was Jalen Humbles. I thought it was a 15. It was a 19.
See, I'm thinking it's Camonte Williams. 13? 13? I think it's Williams on that play.
Could be.
Snap just came back and a little bit high, wasn't able to pull it down, and tried to pick it up.
Well,
and the defenders
after
got
some
there before he
momentum for the Vikings, they turned the ball over on downs, and now the Gophers come out. Single receiver to the right, single to the left, a slot receiver to the left. Delayed handoff to Carter. He's going to go around the far side, and now he breaks through across to midfield. He looked like he was going to be down, and then he squirted free for another 10 or 12 yards.
Yeah, very patient run right there. Just stayed behind his blockers until he was able to find a little bit of daylight.
It's some fast action, Councilman. What do you see so far?
It's amazing to see these such athletic young men, especially as big as they are nowadays.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh,
yes.
you're not kidding. All right, 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Here's a snap. Quarterback Rico rolls to the left. It's caught in the flat to the 45, to the 40, 35. He's going to go out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. You are not kidding about the size of some of these players, Councilman. We've seen rosters where they stop showing the weights at 399 pounds. We've seen them at 325. Big fellas down there. That's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Gophers at the Viking 33-yard line. Single receiver to the right, single to the left. 2 in the backfield. Carter and Pennington with the quarterback, Rico. Feeling kind of suave tonight. Here's a snap. Handoff over to the left side. Oh, the ball's loose, and I believe the Vikings have it. Let's see what happens.
I didn't see. I think that was just a
the Vikings come up with it, and you know what? It's number 14, Deontay Gentry. And if I'm not mistaken, that's his second turnover of the game. He had an interception in the first half. And he's going to get the turnover hammer again.
Goes for Thor's hammer right here.
Well, that is just what the Vikings need.
Yeah, and that was if you're talking in tennis terms, an unforced error. And because I didn't see anybody knock the ball out. I think it was just a handoff that hit him up a little bit too high, bounced off the chest, and went in the Vikings' favor.
1st and 10 Vikings at the 34-yard line. The snap throws to this side. Caught by number 18. Ooh. And he is only going to get a yard, if that.
Yeah,
going to give him forward progress. Yeah, it hit immediately at the 35-yard line, so 1 yard, 2nd down and 9.
The Vikings throw quite a few balls just right there into the flat, and so they're depending on that receiver to break one tackle, get out into the open field, and make a big play. That was a good play by Grand Prairie to make sure that didn't happen.
Brown in the backfield to the right of Carey. Twins right, single left. Now their left receiver goes in motion. Flag is thrown. And I think there was just too much motion going on, and one of the linemen may have jumped.
Yeah, it looked like the right tackle. I didn't see the number, Bill, but it looked like the right tackle may have moved just a little early.
So now you go from 2nd down and 9 to 2nd down and 14, playing behind the chains from the 30-yard line. Twins to the left, trips to the right, no one in the backfield. Haven't had overall lots of pressure in the backfield, so an empty set here maybe sets up for a good pass play. Here's a snap. Throws quickly over to the flat. It is just missed. It looks like the intended receiver.
Yeah, I can't tell if they were throwing it to Brown or if Brown was supposed to block. Brown turned around right as the ball was hitting him. I don't think he thought that was supposed to come to him.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intended for, or it's supposed to be intended for Xavier Bowling. I think that was a tight end out there.
You know, Bill, a lot of times what will happen is that running back goes out there to block. The wide receiver comes to the inside. You almost set up a pick play. Ball was thrown just a little too early.
All right, 3rd and 14, Twins to the left, single to the right. Brown in the backfield. Here's the snap. Gannon Carey steps straight back. He's got plenty of time looking for a receiver. Now he's going to get some pressure. Evades that and then gets all the way across the 40-yard line. Let's see where he steps out at the 41. That's going to be 4th down and about 3, and the punt team comes out onto the field.
Yeah, if you have a fake, maybe you consider it here. But I think the idea is let's kick it deep and make them have to go the whole length of the field to score.
Sidney Anderson is set to punt in punt formation back there. One man deep for the Gophers at about the 27-yard line. The snap. Here's the kick. It's not deep, but it's high. And the ball is rolling, and the Gopher receiver, return man, stayed precariously close to it, then finally moves out of the way. It's going to stop at the 16-yard line. So a nice field flip for the Vikings where the Gophers will set up 1st and 10 at their own 16. Councilman, what do you see? It's been fast-paced and faster than normal in some cases. It's a lot to keep up with.
And I love it because, I'm a member, I didn't tell you, but I'm a member of the Optimist Club.
Okay.
And so seeing some of these kids play since they were, in pre-K, to see them play together as a Viking team, I've always enjoyed that. Seeing some of our athletes from the Optimists play well in high school, college, and go to the pro level. This is fun.
That's a great perspective. Here's a snap handoff. Goes around the outside. Containment is keeping him inside the 20 to the 21-yard line. It's going to be about a 4 to 5 yard gain. Looks like they'll say 21, 5-yard pickup.
Just a sweet play all the way over to the left. Vikings did a really good job of stringing that out. But eventually the Gophers were able to pick up a few yards there. 2nd down and 5.
They come out with twin receivers to the right. No one split to the left. 2 in the backfield. Here's the snap. Throws to the flat on this side. It's caught, but he's met immediately at the line of scrimmage. And Deontay Gentry is one of those that led the tackle. Aaron Fox over there defending also. And I believe it's Jaden Peterson. Yep. No, I'm sorry. It's number 7, Braylon Cole.
That was a bit of a hot potato pass. Hey, I'm throwing this thing quick because I'm about to get hit.
3rd down and 5. Can the Viking defense hold them here and force the punt? Twins to the left, no one right, one in the backfield, extra tight end. Here's the snap. Rolls to the left. Throws, and it's nowhere near a Gopher receiver. Aaron Fox was the closest person to it, trying to dive out for it, but not even close enough for him.
Great
so they do stand.
Yeah.
4th down.
So you talked about this, Bill, earlier about flipping the field position and, smart play on the coaching staff to say, yeah, maybe we can pick up the 3, but let's punt it, let's give them to him deep, and now let's get our end of the
roll this man deep for the Vikings, a center fielder for the baseball team. Here's the kick. It's going to go short. It's going to go end over end, and it's just going to stop dead at the 45-yard line inside Gopher territory, so about a 24-yard punt.
Great field position for the Vikings.
We have a lot of football stars that are also baseball stars. And some of them that aren't stars are stars on one or the other, but a lot of two-way athletes. And there's a few that play basketball as well. The quarterback is a baseball player. And he's only a sophomore.
Well, you can tell by looking at me, I was not an athlete, so I'm envious of those young men.
I like to say I was small, but I was slow. So I wasn't much of an athlete either. 1st and 10 Vikings. Brown takes it over the right guard. Big hole across the 40 into about the 38-yard line where he will pick up about 7 yards. That's 6 yards now. They can say 39-yard line.
I think he got the first 4 of those yards before he was even touched.
Yes. And then drove the last 2, carrying people with him. 2nd down and 4. Twins right, single left. Brown in the backfield. Brown will take the handoff, looking for a hole. He finds something around the right tackle. He gets the first down, and he'll be stopped there at about the 34-yard line.
29 had his legs, and then 9 and
Matthew Bird and Christian Perry, and maybe Ringel in there on the tackle for the Gophers. It took 3 of them to track him down.
Councilman, every once in a while we watch one of these games, and I just think, how would I feel tomorrow morning if I was one of these players, And that's what keeps me up here in the booth. No. Yeah.
Got the line to make, so it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Gopher 35-yard line. Twins to the left, single to the right, pistol formation with Brown behind carry. The snap. Handoff to Brown again, outside the right tackle, 25-20, and it was one person that stopped him. Is that number I think it was number 6, Rangel, that got him, saved the touchdown. Number 3, that was right the first time. It was number 3, Gavin Delani.
I think that's Rangel.
1st and 10 at the 17. Here's a snap, kind of a high snap. Brown takes the handoff to the right side. He'll get to about the 14-yard line.
13 in on that tackle.
Number 13 in on the tackle, Julian Salas. So you're saying it's Rangel?
Rangel, yeah. I used
Rangel?
to go to school with a bunch of Rangels
Okay.
back in the day at South Grand Prairie.
I will
so.
trust your historical knowledge.
Yeah, thank you. Way back in the day.
2nd down and 7 for the Vikings. They're driving, trying to knock on the door here late in the third quarter. Twins left, twins right. Brown still in the backfield, this time to the left of Carey. Brown takes it again, goes right, misses one or breaks one tackle, gets inside the 10-yard line. 5'8".
For sure.
S.I. Gonzalez in on the tackle.
Man, they are just going to, we've said what can Brown do for you a ton of times, but boy, he has been such a workhorse.
Number 24 also in on that tackle, Kingston Malafu for the Gophers.
Got a gopher in the ground.
And there's an injured player, and that'll stop the clock with 2:22 to go.
I would like to say what Tony just said. We have a gopher in the ground. Not to belittle the fact that it looks like he's getting off the field okay, but I just thought that was a classic line that needed to be mentioned,
Did he tell you what he calls the meerkat situation?
Yeah. They haven't done a whole lot of that, Javi.
Martin did a lot of it, but
They
Lamar doesn't do a lot.
Lamar does some where everybody comes up out of their stance.
And I
They all
found
look
out-
towards the coaching
I
staff.
found out there's a secret reason they do that. Can you keep a secret?
Yeah, I'll try.
So can I. All right, it's going to be 3rd down and 2. Here's a snap. Brown over the left side this time through the A gap, it looks like. He's going to get to about the 13-yard line.
They're going to say no.
6 and 7.
Number 7, Albert Vasquez, and number 26, Jason Granados in on the tackle.
It's nothing fancy here at all. Is this 4th down? 4th down.
Fourth down and 1, and here comes the field goal unit out on the team. I see Robert Duncan coming out to try what would be a 25-yard field goal, assuming they actually do attempt the field goal. Now, I like what's going on here. Cooper Bernard sets up, and it is the Wildcat, and he goes straight up the middle. And I think he got it because they're showing he's up around the 11 to maybe 12-yard line. 11. And they've done that before. As soon as he's the holder, but he's set up in that Wildcat, took that snap. And now we have another player slow to get up.
There was just a big mass of humanity right there with the Vikings fighting for yardage and the Gophers fighting against them.
So Cooper Bernard took that direct snap, takes him up to the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. Reminiscent of a 2-point conversion play where he did that a few games ago at that end of the field. All right, 1st and goal at the 6. Twins out to the right, single left. That's going to be a man in motion, comes this way. Bledsoe yelling at him, you're supposed to be on this side. Here's the snap. Brown looks right, looks center, and then he gets inside the end zone. He gets tackled in the end zone, which unnecessarily so, but that's going to be touchdown Vikings by Robert Brown, and the lead is regained by the Vikings.
I want to say, with the exception of, there was at least one pass attempt, but I think every other play was Robert Brown on that. And that you did have the 4th down conversion by Cooper Barnard.
Okay, here comes the Randall Mill Pharmacy extra point attempt. The hold by Bernard. Here's the kick. It's up, and it sneaks in the right upright. So get a kick out of the service at Randall Mill Pharmacy. They do sponsor all of our extra points here. The new score, Lamar 21, Grand Prairie 14.
Not the conventional way of just opening up the second half of getting that long score. Of course, they lost the ball, and then were able to get it back. Would you mind reading this for us? Check this out. So what we typically do is the number of plays. So we got the number of plays, how much time it took, and, of course, the score update.
They took 9 plays. Possession was about total yard to 45 yards. They used a little over 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and with the big play was a fake field goal, and got it in to score the touchdown. So
Very
exciting.
good.
So
And our current score is
21-14.
And
The
who-
Vikings.
Good guys
You're-
ahead.
you're
That's
a
right.
natural
I'm
at this.
excited.
Man.
So,
All right. Well, I'm leaving. He's got the second half. No.
well, I am leaving. I appreciate it, gentlemen.
We are so glad you took the time to be with us today.
This is incredible. This is the best fun I've ever had as a city councilman. So
Oh, awesome.
it's one of the best events I've done. So
I've seen some of the city council meetings, and I can believe that this would be more fun than some of those.
All right, here's the kick. It's kind of short, fielded at the 20-yard line, comes out to the 25-30, and he's close line just across the 30-yard line. Well, we want to thank you so much. I'm turning down my mic for a minute. Richie, go ahead.
You got it. The kickoff to the Gophers, it looks like they're going to be spotted at the 31-yard line. Only 51 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Huge hit right there by the Vikings to stop the runner short of getting any more yardage. The Vikings are going to come out hoping to get a stop. The Gophers are in a looks like their standard formation. You've got single receiver out to the right, single receiver out to the left. Pistol formation with one running back to the right, one running back to the left. Man in motion comes over to the side. It's a misdirection handoff, goes off to the right-hand side, picks up several yards before he's finally tripped up. Oh.
If you want to slide down, then Tony can have that, yeah.
Just pick up. Turn me down. All right, there we go.
I didn't really turn you down because you didn't offer
didn't
anything. No, but I did turn the mic while we were moving things around just a little bit.
Appreciate it. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 5. Just one that run that we've run they've run so many times before. Man in motion, same formation, same running play up the middle, and he's going to get the first down.
Deontay Gentry was one of the guys that slowed him down and caused the stop, and I think it was Jaden Peterson in there to finish him off.
And they've
number
run
2,
that
Aaron
play,
Fox, yeah.
I guarantee you they've run that play 7 or 8 times easy. That's going to be the end of the third quarter. Sorry, Bill, I'll let you take over.
Well, no problem at all. Team effort is always the score at the end of the third quarter, 21-14 in favor of the Vikings. And the momentum seems to be in their favor, if you will, at this time. A lot of back and forth in the third quarter. But hopefully if they can get a defensive stand here, get the ball back early in the fourth quarter, maybe get a 2-score lead, that would really kind of help out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about how much you win by. It really is, do you get the W or not? I hate to say it this way, but this is a game you have to win. If you want to get into the playoffs, if you want to be able to extend your season a little bit, these are the games that you have to win. Most people went into the Martin game saying, you're probably not going to win that game. Okay, this is a game you should win, and if you have hopes and dreams of playing in the playoffs, it's one that you need to win. Standard formation, shotgun position, and one running back over to the left-hand side, man in motion. Fakes the handoff, throws. The ball is tipped right at the line of scrimmage. 55. That's number 55. We said his name a few times. Daniel Marshall.
55 or 95?
95.
95,
Excuse me.
No problem.
Excuse me.
That's Damian Sanchez.
Yeah.
That was like throwing into an oak tree. Sets up 2nd down and 10 for the Gophers at their own 42-yard line. Single left, single right. Now a tight end goes in motion to the other side, 2 in the backfield. Here's the handoff, comes around to this side, doesn't have anywhere to go. He finally starts going up the middle. He'll get about the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be it.
Well, one side is giving him a yard, and the other side is saying line of scrimmage. They're going to say
1 yard gain.
No,
they're
going to say no.
Well, okay, so yeah, it's third and 9.
Yeah, 1 yard. Excuse me.
That's all right. It's kind of weird to see which yard line they were at because it's between the hash marks. Mm-hmm. And, like this. Here's Deontay Gentry out there trying to get the crowd involved. Hey, make some noise for these guys. They've got a big 3rd down play coming up here. Trips to the right. 1 in the backfield. Now, he goes in motion out to the flat. You've got 4 receivers over there. He's got time. Now he's pressured. He breaks 1 tackle, throws downfield to an open receiver, and it's caught at the 25-yard line. That is that really tall receiver, number 22, Moses Hernandez. Well, that's one of their tall receivers. He's 5'11", taller than I am.
It has happened time and time again tonight. Vikings are usually a very sure tackling team. They have had the quarterback in the grasp 2 or 3 times tonight and just unable to bring him down. That should have been a sack, and instead, if it's a gain of, 20 yards?
Something to that effect. So big play there on third down for the Gophers, who are knocking on the door. 1st and 10, 28-yard line. Twins to the right, one in the backfield, no one out left. Here's the snap. Carter takes the handoff. He stutter steps around. He gets up close to the 20-yard line, maybe the 21. So that's only going to be about a 2-yard gain. He was trying to move laterally to find that hole, and he couldn't really get much of anything going there.
Braylon Sneed finally got in there, stuck his head in there, and was able to slow down that running game. Picked up a few yards, but it certainly makes it very difficult for the Gophers to pick up a first down.
So 2nd down and 8 at the 21-yard line. Can the Vikings stand tall and tough here? Here's the snap. He rolls left. Now he throws into traffic.
Nice
Linnell
play.
Cunningham batted that ball down. He reached right in front of the receiver to break up that play.
Stuck with the receiver the whole time. Had really good positioning. Probably that ball shouldn't have been thrown, but it was, and Cunningham was able to knock it away.
Yeah, it's interesting because he didn't want to take the sack. He was out of the tackle box, so he could throw it out of bounds, but I think he felt like we got to get something.
Yeah.
And like you say, though, probably would have been better not to throw because it could have been picked.
Yep.
All right, big third down play here, 3rd and 8. Here's the snap. Looks at his receiver in the flat. He catches there. He's open, and he has stopped short of the first down.
Yeah, he's going to be about a yard short. Wonderful tackle made. Is that Cunningham again?
Yeah,
Cunningham
Cunningham made that. He grabbed hold and didn't let go.
He's made 2 straight plays. This is a big play for the Gophers, and I would say a really big play for. It's 4th down. That's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4th down and 1 at the 15-yard line. Is it really? Is it 2?
It looks like 2 from where we're seeing.
I think they've got to get to the 13-yard line. Let's see where these sticks are. Yep, it should be 4th and 2, I believe.
This is a big play.
Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper up the middle.
I don't think
I think he is short. Well, wait a minute. He squeezed through. He squeezed through, and he'll have it.
Yeah. Where he was originally hit. Well.
Yeah,
okay.
Where he was originally hit, I thought he was going down there.
I thought he was too. Sometimes there's such a big group of people that it's hard to see exactly where they are. He was able to squeeze through and just get just enough yardage to get the first down.
Damian Brown may have been part of that play for the Vikings. Twins left, single right, one in the backfield. Here's the snap. Hands off to Carter, and he doesn't get much, if anything. Looks like number 24 for the Vikings, Cooper Barnard, came up out of that linebacker position, made that stop.
Once again, that misdirection handoff. You have 2 running backs back there. One goes to the left, one goes to the right, and you're giving it to the second guy almost every time.
Yeah, I think Cooper Barnard playing sort of that spy position back there and trying to follow where the ball actually goes, and it worked that time. 2nd down and 10. Here's a snap. A timeout's been called by the Grand Prairie Gopher. No, wait, now he turns and says Lamar.
Uh-oh.
Well, the official came in and says timeout. First he signaled towards Grand Prairie. Then he signals towards Lamar. They can't both call timeout. Let's see which one.
Or can they?
I love that. That was good. I like that a lot.
Well, the initial call was that the Gophers had called it, and he was pretty emphatic about it.
But it is the Vikings,
and said that the Vikings took it. And I will say the Viking coaches were out on the field pretty quick to talk to the defense, and it looked like they were not in the defense that they wanted them to be in.
Wasn't that a fascinating conversation with Raul Gonzalez, City Councilman, District 2, City of Arlington?
Yeah, it really was. A really nice guy. Javier and I talked earlier, and he said, dude, you're going to love talking to him. He's really, really nice. He'll talk about just about anything. Huge sports fan. I asked him, so you got a guy that comes in from El Paso, and the first thing he wants to do is come in and work at the ballpark. How awesome is that? And,
he mentioned the importance of locally owned businesses, such as some of these key sponsors of the Lamar Football Booster Club, Randall Mill Pharmacy, Physicians Ageless Solutions, Pendleton Photography, and a few others we'll get to. All right, big second down and 10 for the Gophers at the 12-yard line of the Vikings. The snap, the handoff, and now play is stopped again. I don't see a flag.
Don't see a flag, but everybody stopped. The ball was handed off to the running back. Running back,
he went to the line and kind of did a spin move. But now I'm curious. You either got to have a penalty flag or a timeout.
You know what I'm wondering? Did they? Yeah, the ball wasn't.
Maybe so. Play clock's down to 13. Here's the snap again. Carter takes the handoff, strings it out around the left end, and Jaden Peterson takes him out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. Quite 8.
Now we got a flag on it.
Now there's a flag.
We got a holding.
That's a big. If that's holding against the Gophers, that's a pretty big call. Holding against the Gophers, yeah, that's a big call right there because they were going to have third down and about 5, don't you think?
Or less, yeah.
Yeah, third down 5, maybe even 3 or 4. But with this, now you've got a second down and 20, and so that limits your playbook just a little bit.
Just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Vikings lead 21-14. Here's a snap. Rolls right. Looking for a receiver. Throws deep.
Over the head.
And out of the hand. Yeah, just over. Is that number?
Receiver 7 was
Jaden Peterson was on the coverage there.
As well as Braylon Cole. Was he there also?
Yeah, I think so. Peterson ran in front of the route, and I think Cole was behind it.
Who was the receiver? Number 10 was the intended receiver. That's that 6'1" junior, Kelton Moore. So now third down and 20 at the 22-yard line.
So this is where Lamar can pin their ears back just a little bit and say this has got to be a pass play. Get back there and try and sack the quarterback.
Twins on both sides. Here's the snap. Steps back, rolls to this side. He's being pressured now. Oh, he's hit hard. The ball's loose. It's picked up by the Vikings, and he's going to go down to the 25-yard line. That was a solid hit.
Cunningham.
Number 95, Damian Sanchez plastered him.
number 1 hurt.
32. Wow. So, yeah, that was just an absolute smash.
Number 32, I'm seeing from Jay.
32 recovers the fumble.
I'm not sure. I saw it was 32.
Yeah, I think 32 on the fumble
Got
recovery.
the fumble, yeah. Okay, not by number 95. I believe Damian Sanchez, 32, picks up the loose ball for the Vikings.
Yeah, so again, when you're in third down and 20, you know you got to throw it.
First and 10 to throw on 25-yard line. Twins to the left, no one out right. One in the backfield. Here's the snap, the handoff. Brown comes this side, gets maybe a yard or two to the 26, 27.
6 and 1 on that tackle.
Numbers 1, Simon Jackson. Number 6, Samuel Rangel. Did I say that correctly?
You got it. Perfect.
On the tackle. And that's, Richie, you're right, that's a huge play because it takes the ball out of the Gophers, who were marching down the field pretty systematically until they got
really
into that
were.
second and 20 situation.
Yeah, any score right here by the Vikings with 7 minutes to go right now. If you have a 3-minute drive, you give the ball back to them with 4.
Here's the snap. Brown takes it around the left side. Now he comes back toward the middle, bounces off some guys, but he's going to be tackled at about the 26-yard line. So maybe a loss, maybe to the line of scrimmage. What's that?
1 and 24 on the tackle.
Simon Jackson and Kingston Malafu in on the tackle for the Gophers. Now it's a big third down for the Viking offense. 3rd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
You know, I know Brown is such a dude. The guy's a workhorse. I'm a little surprised that Coach hasn't put in somebody else just for a little bit. Give him a little bit of a break.
All right, Twins left, Twins right. Brown to the right of Kerry, the quarterback. Now Brown goes in motion. Here's the snap. Kerry throws over to the far side. It's intercepted. Looks like number 3 may have, number 3. That'll be Gavin Delani intercepted that ball. So just like that, on 3rd and long, the Vikings turn it back over.
Yeah, and not a very good not a very good throw, just slightly overthrown. Didn't see that defender right in front of him, was able to step inside, pick the ball off, pick up a couple yards. Most importantly, that's a big turnaround of momentum as the Gophers have the ball at the, 27-yard line.
Yep. They're going to come out with twin receivers to the left, twins to the right, one in the backfield. Here's a snap. Steps straight back. Has time. Now he throws straight down the middle. A little bit of contact, but it's inside. No, now they do throw a flag. That is wild how long it took him to decide that was going to be called as interference. I
don't think he threw that until he saw the side judge throw it, or the field judge, I should say. That's going to be pass interference.
They're going to go talk about it, looks like.
16 was the intended.
Nope, they're going to say it is. There was some contact. I thought they were both going for the ball, but hey.
Well, and the defender was certainly looking back at the passer. I
agree with that. Took him a while to decide to throw that flag. But regardless, that will set the Gophers up 1st and 10 at about the 12-yard line.
That's correct.
Vikings going to need to stand up tall and strong here. Keep them out of the end zone if they can. Here's a snap. It's a loose ball in the backfield. The quarterback's going to have to just fall on it.
24.
Cooper Barnard comes in to make sure that he doesn't pick it up and go for it. That's
boy, he really did look like a big cat pouncing on that. That was fantastic play by Cooper right there.
Joshua Rico, quarterback, smothers that ball, and Cooper Barnard there to make sure it doesn't go anywhere else. Big loss of 5 yards brings up 2nd down and 15 from the 17. Single receiver split far left. Single to the right.
See if they don't run here.
2 in the backfield.
That yardage.
Here's a snap. Handoff to Carter around the right side. 10-5, and he's going to score a touchdown on that play.
Yeah, they've run that exact same play time and time and time again. They got into a position last time they had the ball into the field where they were a 3rd down and really long, put them in a bad position where they had to throw. Smart play, run the ball, and, of course, they're able to pick up the 12-yard touchdown run. Scores 21-20. We're awaiting the point after attempt.
They've got an extra player on the field. He finally gets off the field just in time. And that kick is up and splits the uprights. The new score, 21-21.
Boy, what a change of momentum. The Vikings had the 21-14 lead, had the huge hit on the quarterback, were able to pick up the fumble. All of the momentum going in the Vikings' direction. And then the turnover, certainly really huge. So we have a pass play, running play, 12-yard run. They do pick up 1 first down. Huge pass interference call that gave them a really good field position down on the 12. All new ball game, 21-21. All tied up with 5:21 left to go in the 4th quarter.
Some of these other local business sponsors of the Lamar Football Booster Club, Big Apple Cafe and NYPD Deli, owned by the same people, proud supporter of Lamar Athletics for 30 years. Arlington North Rotary Club, be sure to sign up for their flag program at arlingtonnorthrotary.org. And then a special thanks to Nizza Pizza and Raising Cane's for sponsoring team meals and taking care of our student athletes.
That is such a huge undertaking. Every once in a while, they'll post that on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. These organizations that come in and make sure that these athletes are well fed before a game. And when you look at the size of some of these kids, that's no small feat.
Very true. Bledsoe and Cunningham deep for the Vikings. Standing back inside the 10, pretty close to the 5-yard line. A couple of the guys on the 20, a couple on the 30. Here comes the kick. It's a short kick. It's going to be fielded at the 17-yard line to the 20, to the 25. That's Robert Brown, 30, 35. 2 flags thrown. Yeah, I think Tony's right. I think it's going to be a block in the back is at least one of them. But Robert Brown came all the way around the field. He was moving east or west to east to west, but also able to make the turn. But the block in the back is going to bring that back.
Yeah. I saw 2 flags. I don't know if they're getting the same call or if they were 2 different. Let's see.
I see 3 flags on
3? Yeah. 3 flags.
Holding is the first call if there's more than one. And that's the only call. So holding.
Okay. And, of course, that's a spot foul. And so
let's see where they mark it from.
About the 15-yard line?
Yes, sir. They marked it. That's 25.
So they're stepping it off from the 25. Should be at the 15. And that's where the Vikings will set up shop, 1st and 10. Now, they cannot afford a 3 and out. They cannot afford a 6 and out. They've got to get some points on the board here with 5:12 to go.
I would think
in
so.
The game.
Their drives have been averaging about 3 minutes a drive, and so that takes the time down really short.
Twins left, single right, one in the backfield with Carey, the quarterback. Now the man in motion from this side. Here's the snap. Handoff to Brown over the right guard and tackle. He's met pretty quickly for about a 2-yard gain. Numbers 3 and 4. I'm sorry, number 24 on the tackle. Kingston Malafu. Ball's at the 18-yard line. So 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7. The ball spotted on the close hash mark, right side of the field. The Vikings moving left to right. Twins to the left, single to the right. Pistol formation. Here's the snap. Handoff to Brown again. Comes to the short side of the field, and there's really not anywhere for him to go on this side. Now there's a flag on the play. I think that's going to be a face mask.
I think it is too. I thought I saw a face mask, and I kept waiting. The official waited quite a while before he pulled that out. I see 2
If so,
flags.
that's going to save the drive to a certain degree because he had nowhere to go.
This is reminding me of my offensive plays. Godly left, godly right, godly up to middle.
Personal foul, face mask against the Gophers.
That's a huge call right there.
Well, 15 yards and a 1st down, and that sets the Vikings up in much better field position. It was interesting that they ran Brown to the short side of the field where you just didn't have much of anywhere to go, even with some blockers. The ball's at the 33-yard line.
Bill, I haven't seen Isaiah Robinson back on the field. You know, he was injured earlier. They were doing a lot of running behind him.
Twins left, single right. Oh, snap quickly. Carey picks it or takes it. I think he wasn't quite ready for it.
No, I don't think he was either.
And he's going to be stopped by number 13, Julian Salas, behind the line of scrimmage at the 30-yard line, so a loss of 3.
Gracious.
2nd down and 13. Not the direction we need to be going with 3:58 to go in the game. Tie score. Would really rather not get into an overtime situation.
No.
Twins to the right on the short side of the field. Ball on the right hash mark. Single far out left. Pistol formation. Here's a snap. Bootleg. Carey goes to the far side and out of the reach of Jalen Humbles, and that kind of close to being picked or pickable.
It looked like that ball was just thrown way behind him. Now he was running to the left, throwing back across his body, which is never a good thing to do. 3rd down and 13. You're in a passing. You're in a need to pass situation here.
Trips going out to the left, single to the right. One in the backfield with Carey.
Look for the quick throw.
Here's a snap. Throws to the flat. It's caught. He's at the 30, but he doesn't get anywhere. And that's going to be 4th down at about the 29-yard line. They actually lost a player. You say number 7?
Yes, sir.
Albert Vasquez made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage immediately after the catch, which was sideways out to the flat.
I think that was probably the right play call. It just wasn't taken care of very well. Quick pass out to the left flat, caught the ball and was tackled immediately. So much so that I think, what did we say, he lost a yard or 2?
They must have our playbook.
Uh-oh. Is there a penalty?
No, there's confusion about how many players the Vikings had ready for the play, and that's the rough deal here because now they've got to burn a timeout, and I could see some hesitation, both Aaron Fox and Sidney Anderson looking like, should we be out there or not?
Here comes Bernard.
So the Vikings have to burn a valuable timeout here with 2:51 to go in the game. Tie score 21-21. 4th down and 14.
2:51. I think you said it. 2:51 left to go in the fourth quarter. Punt formation for the Vikings. Would it be too much to ask for one more turnover?
Never too much to ask. Here's the snap, the kick. It's a nice booming punt. It goes to about the 40-yard line. The ball's loose, and the Vikings have it.
What a
How about
horrible
that
play.
turnover? And that
Oh, my
is number 44.
44 recovery.
That is number 44. Ransom Barnes, another baseball player.
You know, Bill, so Bill and I do freshman games. We do JV games on Thursday night, and I don't know how many times you and I have talked about on a punt. If you are not going to catch it, you got to get away from it. He was undecided on whether or not he was going to field that ball. Comes in, it bounces off of him, and when that happens, you're hitting the ball towards the other team.
Yes, we got a flag on the 15. I'm sorry, discussing.
Flag on the play. Where is the?
On the 50 on that.
Oh, the 50. I thought you said the 15.
I did
and I'm
too
going,
at
oh
first.
no, that's not good.
Well, no, that might be roughing the
Yeah.
punter.
Well,
but
good. Yeah. But I'd rather
they're
have
waving
this.
it off, whatever they had thought. So good eye, Tony. Thanks for catching that because neither of us had seen
No.
the flag out there. So
Wow.
1st and 10
Huge
for the
play.
Vikings.
Huge play.
No, wait, hold on a minute. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, never mind. I thought they were reversing something. So we have Robert Brown in the backfield. We're all set. Well, wait a minute. What is going on here?
On defense.
Yeah, that's what it looked like at first because we were so far behind the line of scrimmage, which is the 45. So, okay, deep breath. 1st and 10 Vikings at the Gopher 45-yard line. Twins right, single left. And you called the turnover, Richie.
what
Here's
I'm
a
here
snap. Brown takes it, tries to go left. Now he's going to go right. One man won't let go of him, and he goes backwards, unfortunately, under his own power.
Bill, I love that kid. I think he's such a workhorse. They need to pull him and then get somebody else. Let him rest for a minute. Let him rest.
Now they're going to say his forward momentum was stopped at the 50-yard line, which is a loss of 5 yards, 2nd down and 15. 2:18 to go in the game. Clock rolling.
Man, they need some fresh legs back there.
Trips left. Here's the snap. Robert Brown again up the middle, and the line is just not able to protect him and make a lane for him. And now it's 3rd down and 17. Timeout by the Gophers. They want to stop the clock and get the ball back with some time on it. I don't blame them.
I don't like this. I have no problem running the football at all. None. And I think he's such a phenomenal kid. But Coach mentioned this in the coaches show. We don't have, they've got a stable of running backs that they could put in there. Let him rest for a little bit. You can. There's 2 or 3 other guys that you can put in there and be just fine and trust. I mean, you can put Jaden Peterson back there. If you wanted to do some type of wide receiver run, you've got some guys that can do that. You could still run the ball and it not have to be Robert Brown every time. See if he stays in.
All right, the officials were asking for a little bit more time put on the clock, so it's 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go when timeout was called by the Gophers. 3rd down and 16, the Vikings with the ball at their own 49-yard line. If you don't get the first down here somehow, you're going to have a great punt and then defense stand up.
I don't think they will.
Twins left, single right.
Yeah, they're going to run
It's
the
a
ball.
flip to Cunningham, 50, 45.
He runs in his own player.
That's okay.
6 and 0, basically. 6 tackles, 0 on his own team.
We're going to say credit to the tackle, or for the tackle, number 6, Samuel Rangel. He did run into Bledsoe, his own player, which impeded his forward movement.
Yeah, that's that wide receiver sweep play. Just runs to the outside, was able to turn it up. Did they call? Yeah, they. So the Gophers called another timeout. Smart play call right there by the Vikings coaching staff. Run the football. If you pick up the yardage, fantastic. If you don't, you're going to make them use a timeout. Right here, I would guess 4th down, and this isn't going to be 4th and 16. This should be about 4th and 6.
They added a few more seconds. 1 minute 53 now.
Yeah, the clock now reads 1 minute 53 seconds to go. It's going to be 4th down and 6 for the Vikings, and they are set up to go for it.
I would think that this
They
is going to
might
be a
drop
punt,
back
right?
and do a quick kick.
Please.
Now, the Grand Prairie coach is out halfway to the far hash mark talking to one of the officials.
Well, they can't run the play because the official's not even paying attention.
Well, and their coach is halfway out on the field, or 1/4 of the way out on the field.
Yeah, the ball judge is on the ball. He's not letting them.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Play clock and the game clock have yet to begin.
Looks like he's coming over to talk to.
Skinner.
Looks.
Nope,
Well,
okay.
maybe not.
All right, 4th down and 6. Twins left, single right. Here's a snap. Carey steps straight back. Looking for a receiver. Throws. It's caught inside the 30-yard line. And there's a flag after the play. So that 1st down will count. Number 9
Bledsoe.
caught the ball.
Bledsoe.
29 on the penalty with the tackle.
Bledsoe on the catch, 29 on the tackle.
29
Wow. So
Cunningham looks like he got knocked around a little bit.
I'm wondering if that might be the play call.
Wow.
There's a flag on the play. That is a gutsy call.
4th and 6 and throw it over the middle.
And let me just tell you, if he gets sacked there, you're at the Grand Prairie gets the ball at the 40, 45-yard line.
I think Carey was told, you will not get sacked.
Yeah, do not sack. Yeah.
Sacking is not an option.
Matter
so.
of fact, if you want to, you're going to throw that ball, and if it gets intercepted, it's as good as a punt.
Personal foul, is he saying? Wait, against the Gophers.
Wow.
Some kind of penalty, maybe a late hit. He just said personal foul. I didn't see another type of specific call.
You know, I'm asking Tim Perry on this really quick. I think that is the 5th 15-yard penalty.
So that
Perry is
penalty is
so
going to
good.
be marked.
1, 2, 3, 4. That is the 5th 15-yard
All right,
penalty.
they're going to step this off from the 29, so it's going to go to the 14.
Wow.
Wow. And that was after the play, I believe.
I think it was 29 that dove into him after he was technically already down.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're right, Tony. Number 29 for the Matthew Bird for the Gophers dove into him. So the clock rolling now, 1:42. The Vikings in excellent situation here, 1st and 10 at the 14. Here's a snap. Brown takes a handoff around the right side, inside the 10, still on his feet. There's a rugby scrum pushing him forward to about the 8-yard line. That's going to be 6-yard gain. If that stands.
1:20 left to go in the 4th, and Lamar is letting the clock
What's that?
run. They are doing a bit of a hurry up offense.
9 and 24.
Matthew Bird in on the tackle along with number 24. 2nd and 4 from the 8. Here's a snap. Brown to the left side. Now up the middle. He's pushing his way to the 5. And they're going to say he got to the 6. I thought he might have hit the 5. It's hard to tell.
Number 7 on that tackle.
Number 7 made the stop. That's going to be Albert Vasquez.
Yeah, they're
50
spotted at the
seconds
6.
and rolling. Now timeout.
Timeout, Lamar?
No, timeout Gophers.
Timeout, Gophers. Interesting there. And I guess what the Gophers are saying is, listen, they are in really easy field goal range. If it's 3rd down and 2, if we can somehow stop them, we want to have it with 30 seconds or something like that to be able to do something with the ball. Of course, the Vikings have got to be hoping for bigger and better things than a field goal. Just coach speak, if you will. 48 seconds left to go. It's 21-21, 3rd down and 2. Is there a temptation at all to say, let them score, give us the ball with 40 seconds left, at least we have a chance?
You know, they talk about that and debate that sometimes. I don't think that you do.
Okay.
Because
I don't
you set
think
yourself
you do either.
up to where you have to get a touchdown.
Sure.
All right. It's 3rd down and 2 at the 6-yard line. Twins out to the left, single to the right. Brown to the right of Carey, the quarterback. Here's a snap. Brown gets across to the 5, and he's pushing forward. Touchdown, Vikings! So now, pending the extra point, it's 27-21 with 43 seconds to go.
Boy, Brown has, again, I've used this term workhorse time and time again. He has just been amazing tonight. Man, I don't know if they do ice baths at this level, but he's earned one.
All right, here they are setting up for the extra point. Cooper Bernard, the holder's up behind the line of scrimmage. Now he's setting up in a traditional hold situation. The kick is up, and it is good. The Vikings lead 28-21 with 43 seconds to go. How important were those 2 penalties?
Speaking of penalties, there's another flag on the play. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's celebration or what. Man, if it is, I'm not telling you it's perfectly fine.
Let's just see what it is real quick. Dead ball.
Holding.
No.
I thought he said
personal foul.
Yeah.
Personal foul against Lamar.
And I think, Tony, they're going to opt for the penalty on the kickoff because if you make them re-kick it, they're probably going to make it again. But now the kickoff will be back from the 25-yard line instead of the 40-yard line.
6 plays. Of course, the big play right there is the muffed punt, the recovery by the Vikings, where they take over on their own 45-yard line. 5 runs, 1 pass play, 1 very important 4th down and 6 pass play over the middle to Bledsoe. Keeps the drive alive. Very gutsy call right there.
4th and 6. I love it.
It's huge. Well, it's huge when you make it.
Yeah.
Really, really big deal. A personal foul on the play that sets the Vikings up in really good shape. Your current score is Lamar Vikings 28. Grand Prairie 21, 43 seconds left to go.
And the Gophers have no timeouts.
No, that's true because they used their last one.
The Vikings will be kicking from their own 25-yard line after the personal foul penalty on the extra point play. By the way, that was the Randall Mill Pharmacy extra point. Get a kick out of the personal service at Randall Mill Pharmacy. Voted #1 pharmacy in Arlington. All right, the ball is teed up. Robert Duncan ready to kick.
I want to say, I think the temptation is I want to kick this ball far and deep. Be careful. You still want to get some arc on it. You want your defenders
It's a relatively short kick. It'll be fielded at the 43 to the 45 to the 50. He's breaking through 40. He's finally brought down at about the 34-yard line.
They don't call that.
Whew.
So we're at the 40.
So we're going to be at the 30
30.
something yard line. Let's see where they mark it. I haven't seen anyone. Maybe the 34 if the field judge is setting it. Yep, 34-yard line. So 1st and 10, 37 seconds to go. Field goal does them no good. You got to get in the end zone. They have no timeouts. They're going to have to throw some passes to be able to stop the clock, either for 1st down or incomplete or out of bounds.
Well, and you really can't even run the ball. You're pretty
can't.
limited.
Trips left. Now the running back goes in motion to this side.
Overlook this side.
There's a flag on the play. The pass is deep toward the end zone, overthrown. And I believe we're going to have an offsides call against the Vikings because the flag was thrown. There were people in motion before the ball was snapped. And it is offsides against the Vikings. That'll set up 1st down and 5, I believe, at the 29-yard line. Now the clock down to 32 seconds.
Let's see if the Vikings don't change up their defense just a little bit, have more of a shell look where you might have 2 safeties deep. Nobody gets behind you. Yeah, so you can see right now is that looks like Keegan Kelly is going to stay back, and I can't tell if that's Aaron Fox back there.
Ball is on the right hash mark. Here's a snap. Handoff. Now a reverse play. And now another flip. The ball's on the ground. And now he's in trouble. He's going to throw it away, and it's caught at the 27, and then tackled by Linnell Cunningham. The clock down to 19 seconds. It stopped for a first down, move the chains. It'll start again when they get everything set at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10. Here's the snap. He spikes it.
Boy, that play, it turns out to be a pretty good play. You pick up the first down, but that takes so much time off the clock.
It did. That was a circus play. The ball was handled by 3 people in the backfield. And then the pass, and it looked like it was desperation because he was getting pressure in the backfield.
Handoff, reverse,
for him,
flip it back to the quarterback.
And unfortunately for him, he had an open receiver who caught the ball. But it's 2nd and 10 after all of that with 14 seconds to go. So you've got 2, maybe 3 plays left here.
And once again, probably should have been sacked on that play.
Well, I heard him yelling, paper or plastic on his way, but it didn't happen. Wow, trips to the left on the short side of the field. Single to the right. Here's a snap. Steps back. Throws to the far side. Into the end zone. And it's not caught. No catch. Now the clock down to 9 seconds. That took 5 seconds off the clock. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, just a reminder, when you spike the ball like that, it costs you a down.
Yeah.
And so on 1st down, you spike it. On 2nd down, you throw it deep. I think if he had caught that, he would have been in the end zone, but it was pretty close there too.
Oh, yeah, if he had come down with the ball in control, it would have been a touchdown. But like you say, you've lost the down, then you lose some time. 9 seconds to go, 3rd and 10. Twins left, Twins right.
They're playing a shell defense, you can tell.
Here's a snap, steps back. He's got pressure. He's sacked. And that's going to be, Okay, no, it's not fumbled. They're going to say he was down or in the act of throwing.
24 on the sack.
Cooper Barnard came in there. And look at Skinner hugging Cooper Barnard. What an incredible sack they're going to call it.
They've got now,
and they're saying
the clock says 0. It looks.
Oh no, Linnell Cunningham is doubled over down around the 13-yard line.
The clock says 0. It was definitely a sack. They are saying the player was down, that it was not a fumble.
Yeah, I think they're saying he was in the grasp or down. And either way, he was even in the act of throwing it, but they're going to say he was in the grasp, I believe. Now they're going to put time back on the clock, and they're saying, no, the officials are running off the field. That's the ball game. The Vikings win 28-21. What an exciting finish to the game. Now, the Gophers are standing out on the field like, hey, this ain't over yet. Coach is coming out to talk to the head referee and one of the other officials. 3 of the officials are way past the end zone out on the track. 2 of the officials are back around the goal line. The other 2 officials talking. The teams are lined up. They're shaking hands. The Vikings pull it out. What's that, Tony?
I don't understand what they're talking about.
Well, I think the idea is,
still a running play.
Well, but there was 14 seconds left to go.
Yeah.
There were no timeouts. I think what they're saying is.
I'm going to interrupt for a minute.
Sure.
The 2 coaches just came out and hugged. Great sportsmanship. I know they've known each other for a while. They got great respect for each other.
Yeah.
And like Tony was saying, what could they be asking for from Grand Prairie? Even if he was in the grasp, it's a running play. They don't have the opportunity to stop the clock. So yeah, good point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if they had spiked the ball, that would have been 4th down. Right?
Yeah.
And so, you really didn't have any opportunity there. The Gophers put up a really big fight tonight. I think there were a lot of people that wanted that really big demolishing defeat at the hand of the Gophers. It didn't happen, but the most important thing is you pick up the W. 28-21, huge scoring drive, 2 minutes and 2 seconds towards the end of the game, 6 plays, 45 yards, and again, several huge turnovers, none bigger than the muffed punt and the recovery there by the Vikings. And penalties. Penalties played a huge part of this game. The Lamar Vikings really only, 20, 35, only 40 yards worth of penalties. None of them were, one personal foul, I will say. One one personal foul. Everything else
Yeah.
was in-game action. Offsides, a false start.
But 5 15-yarders.
Yeah.
Well, one of them would have been 15. It was half the distance. But 5 major penalties for the Gophers. But, wow, and the defense standing up strong at that last drive, and Cooper Bardard coming in and basically sacking that quarterback.
Huge play.
Vikings win 28-21. That second district win. They're 2-1 in district play. They're still in control of their own destiny for the playoffs. Until next time, for Tim Perry, our drive chart specialist, Tony Zimmerman spotting for us up here in the booth, our executive producer, Jay Ryan, and Richie Sherrod, I'm Bill Frawley. Once again, we want to thank Raul Gonzalez, City Councilman District 2, for coming up and joining us also. VFND.